Welcome back, YouTube, and a little bit of a different episode for you today. It's going to be like a little mini series on some work that we're having done at my house. So this is a conservatory, obviously. Ever since we moved in, it has leaked. 5 years there's been a bucket inside the conservatory every time it rains. It's down to the fact that there's an internal gutter between the house roof and the conservatory roof, but I've had a few people out, no one could fix it. The thing's knackered anyway. I mean, the panes have started going. The fact it half goes over what was the bathroom window. Who even does that? Anyway, this is coming down. I'm going to put a proper single story extension on with a roof which hips, a proper slate roof, well, tile roof, which hips into the house roof. Currently it's slate, as you can see. We're going to change the tile because these have been on almost 100 years. I think it's time for a change. There's nothing up with the actual slate, so probably going to resell them, but we're going to match with next door's tile and come across with new tiles. All this is going to be coming down. The story behind it is I did list it on Facebook Marketplace for free in the hope someone would come and take it, dismantle it themselves and get rid of it that way, but so far no one's took, and the builder's starting in 4 days. Not ideal. Wanted it gone because that's going to fill up a skip, and then I've got to go to work on Monday, obviously, so I end up paying the builder to take it down, so just double the cost in it. What's happening is it's going to be stepped out a little bit further. I'm not sure what we're going to do with the soil pipe yet. Don't know. The drains are going to have to be altered anyway. There's the manhole, but the soil pipe to the bathroom is going to have to be relocated or put in the actual extension and boxed in. Don't want to do that, but we'll see. This wall's going to be coming out, window on this side, bifolds across the back, and that wall where there's a window on the back edge where the football is, that is going to be solid, and the plan is to have a load of storage units on there. The kitchen door you see there is going to get blocked up eventually. This was all open when we first moved in, but I half closed it off. That was the door into the kitchen. We're going to re-knock that out and make it into the hole into the kitchen. That will be your entrance into the kitchen, and this one will be blocked up. Yes, that is the plan. And as I said, bifolds across the back. You have to excuse the washing. We literally got back from Greece yesterday evening. Mrs. is already on it. And all the spider plants, she likes growing these and then gives them away. Bifolds across the back, onto them nice views. So that is a little bit of the plan, what's going on. So far I've probably spent about £1,800 to £2,000. Initially had the architect come out to draw up the plans. That was a cost of about 700 quid. You do need planning permission because that flat roof extension there, I've just said it is an extension. Because the new extension is going to be touching that extension, you need planning permission. Had it have not touched it, which it has to because of the shape of it, had it have not touched it, they wouldn't need a planning permission. But anyway, that is what it is. So then we needed, because it's the council that were under a very hard work, it needed like a outline planning putting in first. That's a cost. So you submit your outline plans. They either accept or deny. They accepted, thankfully, and then you have to submit your proper plans in, which again was another 500-600 quid. I can't remember. It's, honestly, yeah, about £2,000 in, and not even laid a brick. And I believe most of the money, cost of extensions, actually is in the ground. So obviously you got your footings, your drains, your pad, your concrete pad. Oh. Anyway, it's going to spiral. And that's why we're going to be creating a mini series on it. So first things first, we need to knock that door out, that door opening out, and then board up the door into, well, the current one, which goes from the conservatory to the dining room. That is the plan. And then the back door, temporary back door, which you can lock, will be that one straight in front of you. Safety sliders. suppose I better disconnect them pipes before going any further. There is a mess everywhere, man, but you don't make omelettes without cracking a few eggs, do you? Do you know what I hate? Is when you're doing a job like this and there's nowhere for you to put the rubbish. So currently, half of it's there, some of it's there, some of it's all still all over the floor. I have had somebody message saying if I dismantle it, they'll collect it, and the delivery guy said, well, the person collecting it said if I can help him load it up, they'll charge her 280 quid. I still need to dismantle it though, which on my own, I mean, just for instance, I don't know if the camera shows it, but that is over 4 meters long, that beam. Don't know, these windows probably going to be heavy. We'll know before the episode's out what's actually happened, but as of now I don't have a clue. So what I've been doing is, there's 2 radiator pipes there, flow and return. They basically go right around the kitchen to the boiler, which is on the other side of there, which I put in so I know where they go. They are going to be, because this door's going to get bricked up eventually, and that is going to be the main door for the kitchen, as I've said. I'll slide the washing machine out at a later date and sink them pipes behind the skirting board and up and have the radiator here. That's the plan. Those 2 radiator pipes, flow and returns, which was to a radiator here, we've already got a radiator in that room. Those 2, well, basically I think I can see them behind the plinths, so I'll cap them off under the plinths. Feeds, radiator pipe work for in here is going to be a problem. It's solid floor obviously everywhere. However, with this going to be having a pitched roof, it's going to tie into the main roof of the house. Now currently there is no flow and return in the main roof of the house because half the house is suspended floor, half of it's solid. So as soon as we step in here, we're into suspended floor. Now, those 2 are the main circs from the boiler. However, up there, we have 2 redundant pipes which used to feed a cylinder in the attic. So those 2 pipes go in this boxing in the hot and cold, and make the way up to the attic. So my thoughts are, I could tee in from the boiler into them 2 pipes, find them again in the attic, come across, straight through the wall, and then down the behind the plasterboard and feed a radiator probably on this wall somewhere. Yeah, there's not a lot of wall space going to be left in here because all this is going to be a bank of units, I think. No window. They're bifolds. There's going to be a window there, and this is going to be the seating area. Gosh, that is going to be coming back out, so that'll be all opened up again, as it used to be, to that stub there. So all this will be a bit open plan. I have found the electrics, which is a pain in the ass. So there is a switch in here. That switch there feeds that light. These wall lights that I've took off were fed on a few spare, which is no longer here, coming off sockets. So the wall lights were on the sockets. These 2, this is the ring main, continued from the kitchen, which is what they've done. They've pogged a hole out there and come from the socket, which is inside the kitchen. So I've just linked the ring main back up and got the power back on. That's where we're at, hence why I smashed a load of wall out there, because I wanted to see where the cables go, because I wanted to sort the cables out before this thing can come down. And that, in a nutshell, is where we're at. Still need to carry on emptying out this room, but as usual, there's nowhere to put anything in the house when you lose a room. It's not the biggest house in the world anyway. Oh, I'm going to check back with you to when either I'm dismantling it, my cousins, the builders, are dismantling it, or the person collecting it's going to be dismantling it. I have no idea. Right at this minute in time, if I dismantle it, where do I put it? Do I put it on the grass? Can't put it down the drive because I won't be able to get out. If I dismantle it, I'm going to lose a good number of hours because it's probably going to take most of the day. If the delivery people dismantle it, which they have offered to do for the customer, but for the person collecting it, but they've not set a price yet, What I might suggest is, the way I look at it is it's going to approximately cost £300 for a skip to get rid of this. And let's say it takes my cousins a day, approximately £300 for them for the day. So it's going to cost me 600 quid to get rid of this. It may be worth, if this collection driver says it's going to cost 200 quid to dismantle, it may be worth me just saying, look, I'll pay him to dismantle it. Pay 200 quid, it's cost me a third. Or I try and dismantle it myself, which, yeah, don't know. I've got 2 days. Sounds like a lot of time, but I've also got to work. Filming this on my phone because, don't ask. Apparently the person is supposed to be coming, it's Thursday today, the person is supposed to be coming collecting it at 1:30 on Sunday, but the driver can't dismantle it or something, even though he suggested it. I don't believe they're going to come pick it up, basically. So I thought I'm going to start stripping it off myself. The roof's coming off pretty easy, to be honest. If anyone does still want to get it via the Facebook marketplace ad I've put on, then I've not broken anything. It's just, it'd probably be hard to put together if you don't know what you're doing. But yeah, the roof is almost off. I've took out most of the window beads other than the side ones, so the windows will just come straight out after the side beads are taken off. I'm filming this on my phone because I can't be bothered going getting the GoPro. So yeah, all these beads are out, just the side ones holding them in until I properly secure up this. I've just put some carpet protector over that lot because it's supposed to rain tonight, and just to stop it seeping into the dining room for now. Probably going to pick up some sandbags and just chuck them across there, just because over the nature of the job, I don't want, if the carpet's going to be changed, I know, but I don't want it to soak into there and start smelling of damp, basically. I'm going to leave them to him for the time being because I haven't fully sorted out them electrics, so I don't really want them getting wet. Yeah, I'm ended up doing it myself. Might stick a time lapse on, maybe tomorrow or Saturday. Dad said he'll come and give us a lift getting the windows out. Plus he's got one of them window sucky things to make it a bit safer. Put a time lapse on for that. But it's progress. This, however, isn't. This just looks like, what the hell am I going to do with it? And there's still a lot more to go. I mean, worst case scenario, if they don't come on Sunday, no one else comes and wants it. The roof is aluminium, as you can see. There's alley down there as well, so my best mate owns a scrapyard. He'll come and collect that. Probably only worth about 50 quid, something stupid like that. If not, my cousin will take it away because it's scrap. It's just the glass and the plastic frames and stuff, which could potentially cut up and do a million tip runs, or I could get a skip. Right, time lapses ago. So as you can see, I managed to smash 2 panes of glass in the process of taking them out, which ain't good. I've put some roll and stroll kind of carpet film over them to stop them getting glass pieces everywhere, obviously with the dog and the little one knocking round. Don't want them with cut feet. Dad's taking the doors out and I'm just slowly disconnecting the roof spars, which are just bolted in on some 13mm nuts. Quite a straightforward process, really. Just up and down ladder, up and down ladder is not. I'm feeling it today when I'm doing this voiceover, my legs the following day. I'm glad my dad came and gave us a lift though, because this roof part was quite heavy. The way we left it in a section, as you can see, it's just dropped now. Final pane out of the roof to come out, which is siliconed up. Whoever put this in the first place absolutely loved brown silicone. I think no fixings would have been needed at all in any of it. Just the silicone would have been suffice. So that's dropped safely, promise. Didn't hit anyone, didn't knock anyone off ladders, but it was close to. And now the big tidy up round. So what I've got to do now is there's like a ring around the top, an aluminium ring, which is tightening it all together. Obviously stops the windows moving and stuff. So now I've got to disconnect them. These are on like some funny tabs which you had to pull out They kind of locked into place themselves, but that took a good 15 minutes working out how the hell they came off. It's like, where's the screws? What are these tab things? I was knocking them in. No, pull out. Like a quarter turn thing. And it was just a case of doing it section by section. Smallest parts first. The big internal gutter, that was the longest part, and obviously that was the heaviest part. And yes, you could have dropped on the floor. The floor's going. It doesn't matter if it gets damaged, but you don't want to let something go with that weight whilst you're on the ladders, and it take the ladders from under you. So just got to be a bit careful. The flat roof here has been done after the conservatory, so the gutter on that side was actually fiberglassed in, so I had to run the angle grinder down the side of it just to create a little bit of leeway for the gutter to actually come out. That last section there probably took the longest. Believe it or not, it was probably the shortest piece and took the longest as well. Absolute pain in the ass. Would I take a conservatory down again? No. I'd pay someone else to do it. Would I get a skip? Yes. Sacrifice the use of the drive? Yes. Now that's that roof ring beams off. The windows themselves are fixed down to the brickwork and together. So like the section you can see now, what you're looking at is 3 sections. But obviously we need to remove this glass so we can access the fixings. That was alright, that one. That stayed in one piece, however this one literally fell to pieces. It was just so trapped in. The corner of the conservatory's dropped, so it's twisted everything. But we eventually got that out. And now it's virtually straightforward. Not much ladder work, just undoing screws. Some of them were rotten and had to be snapped out of the way, but I'm so glad to see the back of this. I'm just hoovering up all the glass what fell out just so the dog don't stand on it. That probably took longer than taking the rest of this lot down. Well, it's a little bit different. The GoPro ran out of battery whilst it was on time lapse, so by the time I realised it was already too late. This is where we're up to. I've secured the entrance to the house. Just chuck some felt just to keep it a bit, well, protect it from the elements really, because them joists, the roof joist bars, are open to the elements there. And yeah, I've put a piece of gutter off the conservatory on to basically keep the water away from this side, so when it hits that it'll run down. I'll put a bucket or something down there. All the bricks smashed up to pieces, somewhere in a pile there. There is literally shit everywhere. I did start having a little fire, but it's only a tiny fire pit that I've made. So I've chopped a bit of the windowsills up and thrown them on. I'm currently in the process of loading up the van with plastic, and basically my plan is to take pretty much what you see there to the tip, and I'm going to have to cut all these frames up at some point when I've got something to cut them up with, like a recip saw. Cut all the frames up and get the glass in for another tip run, and that'll be most of it. A lot of the alley's been gone. My cousin's picked up the alley. There's just these 2 bits which won't fit in his van, so they want chopping up, and they'll be gone as well. I hate rubbish, absolutely hate it. All over there is plasterboard and insulation. Maybe chuck them in the missus' car and take them to the tip, I'm not sure. I'm knackered now. Absolutely knackered. But we'll keep this rolling as we go. Cousin's only starting on the Wednesday, not the Monday anymore, so it's bought me a little bit of time, even though I'm busy with work, so I won't get to do very much anyway. But as and when I have an update, I'll let you know. I'm not going to put short episodes out of this. They're going to be probably, don't know, 40 minutes to an hour long. So I'll catch you back when I have an update. I said I'd holler you back when we have a little bit of an update, and well, this is this morning's task. Just chopping up the frames so they're going to be easier to fit in the van. It's not quite full yet for the first tip run, but I am going to have to take these bags out because I didn't realise that to dump plasterboard at the recycling centre, the tip, it needs to be separate from any other rubble. Don't know. I mean, I may get away with it by just throwing it in the general waste, but if I get seen, or yeah, I'll end up taking it back home. So I may throw some more of these lengths of frames in now, started cutting them down, and I have got a permit on the Tuesday. Permit tomorrow, Sunday, permit on Tuesday, and hopefully I'll be able to get most of it in, because the glass should just lie flat, I hope. Maybe not. Oh, look at that guy, you dirty git. Size of that, I thought they're supposed to die in the sun, and the sun is out just behind the clouds. I thought it dries them out. Fire is still going, but yeah, it's looking a lot tidier. I may run the angle grinder through these alley gutters just to make them smaller, save my cousin having to do it when he comes and they're out of the way. They are cutting really easy, to be fair. I've got some new Reviver blade cut off discs, and I'm still on my first one. I mean, it has got a little bit small now, but yeah, they are cutting through nicely. There is a little bit of steel in them, like a supporting bit there, but we can deal with that. Simple as that. Cut up to small manageable amounts. I mean, I could cut these even smaller, but I don't see the point. I might have to when I start loading the van up though, if I find I've not got enough space to try and get all this in, ready for a clean slate on Wednesday. So me and the old man, more so the old man, decided to have a go at jackhammering this floor up. But I don't know if you can make out on the video just how thick that concrete is. It's just over 6 inches thick for a conservatory base. Are you taking the mick? Underneath the membrane is these flags. So yeah, we gave up because it started pissing it down, but that's took about 2 hours just to get to that part. We had another dabble here just to see if it was any thinner towards the house. No, it's exactly the same. Rock hard as well it is. I did attempt it with a hammer. That didn't get very far. I'll show you what we are using, or was using, because it's now Monday morning and I've got to go on a boiler install. I was using that based. Still hard work though. So I have told my cousin who's bringing a mini digger on Wednesday to get a pecker for the digger, because although a pecker costs more money hopefully I'll save that money in what would have cost in labour time. Them two jackhammering that floor up is going to take, I'd imagine, all day, whereas with the pecker it may only take half a day, and then they can get on to checking what footings are under here. Hopefully not so much, but you never know. The less footings there is, the easier it is, because by the end of the week, Friday afternoon, I wouldn't have minded all this crap cleared, footings dug out, and that's ready for next week to sort out what's going to happen with the drainage, because currently this drain here runs underneath the conservatory to a manhole which is under that pile, and from what I believe is there's another drain under there as well, because when I sent the drainage camera up, there's a T junction. So with a bit of luck, because we're approaching winter, well, we're in autumn now, rainy days are going to be more common. I don't want to get it watertight. The missus is already saying it's never going to be ready for Christmas. I hope it is. We are having the whole roof done, I have said, at the same time, so that's going to take time as well, but I can't wait to get the shell up, the roof on, I start getting some plasterboard and stuff on inside, and it starts coming together then. It's just one of them things that I just wish I'd never started. It needed doing because the conservatory leaked. For the last 5 years it leaked in, and after taking it to pieces, it was from that join on the internal gutter. However, the panes had started to fail. It looked shabby and horrible. It wasn't a warm room, as conservatories aren't, so it did need upgrading. But I still don't want to be here whilst it's being done. However, I have to. It is what it is, isn't it?
Roman Egyptian.
It's the end of day one. I'll spin you around and show you what we found, well, what they've found, what progress has been done, and yeah, the mess. Quite good progress today, to be honest. Really good progress, because that base that was down, that slab was like 6 inch thick, and then under that it had flags, and then as you got to this corner of the house there was another concrete slab, which you've seen on the videos with tiles on. It's just so much concrete. Anyway, that was already obviously buried under the floor, that, because the finished floor height was, we'll go a bit closer, it's revealed so much. The finished floor height was, well, where the plasterboard was, pretty much there. That was under the floor. So to stop stuff going down this gully, they've just used an ice cream tub that was in the concrete. That is currently my basin waste, which is still in use. That is redundant. Don't want any more crap going down there. This has been broken by the builders, but it had previously been broken because it's already been siliconed up. They've obviously put some sort of adapter on there, which looks like it's never fit. So that's good. We're going to have to rehash this anyway. It's actually running uphill. So it comes out here and runs uphill into the clay. Straight across. There's a Y bend there, obviously, to that. And then that then goes to that manhole. All that's going to be renewed in plastic. We don't need that anymore because my plan is to come across here, clip to the wall and into the stack somehow. So I could potentially do that in the bathroom, but it's not as simple as that. So I'm going to clip it to the wall and then we're going to slate batten this wall off. So there's a void to run cables and whatever in it. That'll be sound. Started digging the footings and hit clay now. Finally, 700mm down they are from the bottom of the flags. They're the original house footings. Interesting how they used to do them in it without no concrete under that, just like a brick pyramid scheme kind of thing. But obviously got to continue doing that. Now that was a find I didn't expect. That is an electric cable. I'm looking at it. It goes to next doors. So that is next door's electric cable. Lucky they didn't damage it, but that's going to be running across. Oh, it's just going to be a nightmare. This doesn't, around the back of the house currently has no rainwater gullies or gutters. The old gutter used to tap in to the soil pipe up there, whereas on the plans now, we have to have the rainwater going into rainwater waste, separate waste, which the only ones we've got of them currently are around the front here. Them two, they're the only two on the house. So we're going to have to find a branch or come off that and come across into some rainwater gully traps. So that's got to be done. Yeah, progress. So tomorrow what they've said is they're going to carry on digging the footings. We was hoping to get the building inspector out tomorrow to check the footings are all right, discuss what's acceptable with the drains and stuff and go from there, but they can't come till Friday. It's currently Wednesday afternoon now. So that's going to slow the job up a bit. We've requested an AM slot, but whether we get that or not is another thing. Yeah. So it's going to be digging footings tomorrow, tidying it up, probably getting it some sort of height ready for stoning and insulating and stuff. And then probably take these flags up now. Dad said keep them down because it's somewhere clean to work on. Yeah, it is. It is clean to work on it, but I think get rid of them now. Stone it up to some sort of height because the black flags which are running round, they black slate. I've done that. That's why it's not the best. I am obviously going to continue them round to that side of the house, round here and then here, and then the driveway's a job for next year. But I've just said just stone up. It's clean to work on stone, in it. It's not nice on your feet, I suppose, but you know, crush and run, and then everything will round this outside will be all tidy. That is the plan. I will update you tomorrow as and when more activities have gone on, and we'll see where we get up to, or where they get up to, should I say, and hopefully the weather will hold out. It almost reaches the grid. It'll keep the dust down anyway, won't it? Just do you a little bit of an update of what's gone on today. Obviously after the builder's clips, that is going to fire across to me later. We have our 700mm footings in, just need to confirm with the building inspector. However, we have it clay, or they have it clay, should I say. There's the electric mains, which continues along to next door. Managed to dig around that and not disturb it. My dad has been and put a couple of connections on and plastic pipe into that drain, mainly temporary really, because obviously it was cracked to the joint. It actually looks like it's leaking to me. However, it could just be my eyes. Not sure. Anyway, yeah, that piece of drain pipe's in for now. Just to make it usable. We still have to rehash that. Dad's knocked a massive hole out in the wall, as you can see. Just try and see what's going on. Left that to him. I've been at work. He's retired. He loves doing silly little things like that. Yeah, flags have been taken up here. There's not a lot else to report really. It's just stuff's been got rid of, as in like the spoil and stuff. So it is just a waiting game now. They're going to peg out tomorrow morning, and hopefully the building inspector will be here AM as promised, and the footings will be poured PM tomorrow afternoon. That is all I have to report on today. Forgot to mention the bricklayer came round just to suss the job out, and he's planning to come mid next week, so we have lost a couple of days. The Monday, Tuesday of next week, there'll be nobody here basically. I suppose that gives me a bit of time to earn a little bit of money to try and keep. I can't keep on top of this because it costs. The outgoings are way more than the incomings can be, but I can try and keep the bank balance up a little bit whilst as it's ongoing. So it's just a shame we missed 2 days, but hopefully by the end of next week, so this time next week, the following, yeah, it'll be Thursday, Friday will be concrete pour. But what I'm going to do is let them pour the footings tomorrow, the concrete footings, and wrap this episode up, because that'll be about 45 minutes, 50 minutes long. And then we'll continue with the next episode as and when I've got it, which hopefully will be next week. Friday afternoon, that's the week over. Obviously me and Dad started this, well I started this, ripping it down last Friday, and my cousin started on the Wednesday, and we're up to this stage now, so pretty good progress to be honest. But no one's going to be here now till Wednesday the following week, so it's a good 5 days off. But the footings are in, the concrete is in. Hopefully that'll be something like dry tomorrow. And me and my dad are going to mess with their drains. I'm just going to put a Y section in here to pick up that bath and shower waste and that basin waste, and just tidy up the soil pipe and put a Dergo valve on it instead of a full stack. That'll be inside obviously the building. Don't think there's anything else to do here. They have got to put a rainwater drain in, which the nearest rainwater drain is that gully there, so that's going to be removed off. I think I might have said this, and put across to a new gully and what they call now, down pipe, and then it's going to have ACOs around, you know, the ACO drains right around to pick up another down pipe on that side. But yeah, a bit of progress. Absolute waste of a day really for my cousins, mainly down to the fact that the building inspector would only give us a time slot of 9 till 12. Wouldn't give an exact time. Fine, whatever, as long as it's that time. So we were struggling, well, he was struggling with booking in the concrete guys. So we booked in the concrete guys for any time after 1. Building inspector didn't turn up till 1:30. Thankfully the concrete didn't turn up, but obviously it passed. As you can see on the video, it couldn't really fail. The footings were obviously clay. Anyway, deep enough and whatever else it needs to be. But then the concrete guys only turned up at 4:30, so yeah. Hence why the sand and cement and bricks are here ready for the brickies to start on Wednesday. So, and they've put a little bit of stone down just to tidy it up a little bit. Spilt concrete obviously as it was jumping over the ramp, and that's a little bit of excess which was left over. A little bit too much, to be honest, but that is what it is, isn't it? That is just under 4 cubic square metres, and it's cost £720. Yeah. A lot of money really, isn't it? It is a lot of money, but it's going to cost, I reckon, with the planning and stuff, to over £5 just to get it to slab height. Scary times, eh? Saturday afternoon, and we have the drains altered to suit. Proper rest bend on it this time. Obviously there weren't a rest bend on it, it was just a 90 last time, and we managed to pick it up. So we've got a decent fall going back into that manhole. This wall that I'm pointing at the minute with the basin waste on and stuff is going to be battened off to get over that basin waste. And obviously the soil pipe with the Durgo valve is going to be inside the room, boxed in at a later date. These are fancy little adapters you can buy. I like that. But all that'll be in the concrete afterwards. You won't see most of it. The concrete has set now, as you can see. I've just walked on it. It's about to go and do the food shop, yay! But at least the drains are sorted. Well, it's not raining. I think that's probably the only change. However, it has been raining, as you can see via the puddles. We're now Thursday morning. Yesterday the brickies were supposed to be here, but they've been delayed until tomorrow, being Friday, which has ultimately delayed the job by probably, don't know, a week and a half. Even though it's only 2 days they've kind of been delayed, it knocks on the building inspector and the slab. So if they come tomorrow, get their course of bricking up to slab height, that'll be Friday. Then it's the weekend. Cousins come back Monday and stone up, insulate up, ready for the concrete slab. But before the concrete slab comes, the building inspector needs to come. Sound. To check it's insulated and whatever, it's up to regs. So best case scenario, the building inspector comes Monday and my cousins come back Tuesday to put the slab in. That's best case scenario. I think the building inspector's only going to come Tuesday, and then my cousins will only come back Wednesday to put the slab on. Once the slab's in, the brickies can't just jump straight on it. It needs some form of time to at least go hard for working on or whatever. So let's say that's best case scenario, Thursday, Friday. I doubt it because they're going to leave it time to set. So I can't see next week the brickies coming back to start building up to roof height, unfortunately. So it's probably going to be the following week. And this is just what happens with building projects with multiple trades on the job, relying on people like building inspectors, materials, and the weather. The weather is, as you can see, the sky, it's blue skies, it's all right, but yesterday it was peeing down for most of the afternoon, so the brickies won't get anything done. Anything outside when it's raining is nothing's gonna happen, is it? If it does, it's gonna be slow. Will we get the job done for Christmas? I am getting pecked. The wife is pecking my head. It's not gonna be done for Christmas, it's not gonna be done for Christmas. In my head, with the dates, it works out with plenty of time left for Christmas. It works out in my head, even with the ordering the bifold doors, if they take 6 weeks, depending on when they get ordered, they need to be ordered pretty sharpish. And the trades can come in as and when realistically I think they can. This should be boxed off, plastered, and skirting boards on, whatever, flooring painted by December. I know you're not watching it in line with it. It's currently 11th of September, but I don't know when these videos are going to go out. There is a chance. There's a chance it can be done. But for now, I thought I'd give you a little bit of an update at the start of the episode. I've just had a coughing fit and now I can't breathe. I will check back with you tomorrow when the brickies are here, putting their first course in. It just feels like, well, it has. Tomorrow it'll have been a week since anyone's been here other than me and my dad doing that drain. It just feels slow now, feels really slow, and it's a bit disheartening. That's not a good start for the bricklayers coming in about half an hour's time. It's absolutely tanked it down last night. I think there's probably, looking at that pipe there, there's about three inches of water all the way around. Shit. We have some brickwork. Friday afternoon, brickies turned up this morning at 7:30. I obviously had to bail out all that water with the buckets and then the wet vac to try and, yeah, we wanted them to do a little bit. And yeah, they've managed to get it up to slab height now, which is exactly what we want. Bit of damp course just to stop the rainwater getting inside the bricks. Obviously give the cement best chance for going off. Lintel over the soil pipe, so there's no weight rested on that. But that is it, that is the outline of the building. These little nibs here and here are where the bifold doors are going to go. My cousin is coming back, or cousins are coming back Monday next week to stone up to installation height and get the 2 rainwater gullies in, tapping into one that's just around that corner there. So the drains will be going in for the rainwater and stoned up, insulated. Hopefully concrete pour Wednesday afternoon is the plan. But the brickies have said they're going to come back the following week, which is fine. As long as we've got the drains in, got it stoned up, got the slab poured, get the bricks here ready for them, and hopefully they'll be able to start early the following week. But there's a little bit of an update to you. I'll catch you Monday when we should have some more drainage work going on.
It's not raining, is it?
So ladies and gentlemen, that was yesterday. It was a horrendous day for the weather. I'm not sure what storm it was named, but it was constant raining, hammering it down, and so windy. Even so, part of a tree came down in the back. I mean, that is a big ass branch. But we are all stoned up to, yeah, I don't know what sort of height. It's of a height. This gully, which the old one used to be there, taking a notice of the pie work, that's all I had at 5 o'clock last night. It's a mixture between 32, brown 40. That fitting there is actually cracked, so it wants renewing from inside. Not that easy because it's behind units. It goes in the house, goes up and then straight out, so it's behind units. That's going to take a bit of working out. However, I can't finish it permanently anyway because this is all being K rendered eventually, so I want to be able to take that off at some point. So I may just have to cut it off out inside, put a new piece through onto a McAlpine elbow and just angle it into that gully. We was going to, or they was going to, tap into that gully, that rainwater, because we thought it was a soakaway, but no, that gully actually tapped into the kitchen gully and goes into the foul waste one. So the combined waste on this property, there's no soakaways, there's no rainwater, just waste pipes or whatever you want to call it. So that is in the corner ready for a downspout. This is going to have eco drains round, there'll be another downspout on that side. We're going to struggle to get the falls, but it'll be something like, obviously they've stoned up inside to our level and then sand. There's the visqueen, which is going to go down so it can fill this area, and then it's going to have insulation, then another layer of visqueen, and your concrete poured to the finished wooden battens over there, the same height as the original house. And that is where we're up to from yesterday. It's now Tuesday morning. Building inspector is due between 9 and past, because they've got to pass off the slab, prove it's insulated and whatever. And then by then it'll be insulated, and the concrete is hopefully getting poured this afternoon, Tuesday this afternoon. But the brickies only can start the following week, so nothing's going to happen again for the rest of this week other than after today. I suppose it gives the slab chance to properly firm up, even though it's normally walkable on the following day. It is what it is. There's not a lot we can do about it. I'm kind of stuck in limbo because I want to get on with stuff, but I can't get on with it. None of this stuff I can actually get on with myself. I had no idea what I'm doing. But I mean like the plumbing and ripping out this wall and prepping walls for plastering and stuff. I mean, I can piss around doing that, but not until I've got a building to do it in. So that's your little update for you. I'll catch you back later on when we've got the concrete in. Hopefully the builders will get some videos as well. We have a concrete slab. It's Wednesday morning now. And as you can see, it hasn't stopped bloody raining. Not ideal. It's not even, no, it's not even, well, it's not been 24 hours, but it's not a chance to properly set and form, which is a right shame, but nothing we can do about the weather, unfortunately. Obviously, the building inspector came and passed it, passed up to now, happy days. And they got the concrete in, the insulation in, and picked up some of the blocks for whenever the bricky can start. But let's talk money up to date. I thought I'd try and give you a little inkling into how much something like this costs. So far, we've had the architect out to draw plans, outline planning, that passed, architect to draw your proper plans with all like your lintels in and etc. Proper planning permission. Building inspector, they've charged initial site visit, and then I've paid for site visits. I bet there'll be one final lump sum at the end of that. And obviously we've dismantled the conservatory, got rid of the conservatory, dug up the footings, got rid of that. Concrete footings in, bricky's been into brick up slab height, and we've had the slab done. That's just to name a few things, but the total cost up to date as we stand, including the blocks that are already set in the garden, that won't build the whole walls, that just gives the brickies a bit of a start. It's just under £9,000, including that. £9,000. When I started on this, in my head, I estimated to where we're at now to be about £5,000. We're almost double that, obviously. Anyway, nothing's going to happen now till next week, and that's the next time something happens will be when the bricklayers come to start putting some of the walls up. But the weather forecast is this for the next 10 days. I know it can change, but the job might stop for a little bit, unfortunately. But I'll keep you updated. If the weather does improve as well, my cousins are going to jump on the roof at the front and start ripping that off and felt and battening it up. Yeah, just so it kind of keeps moving a little bit. So hopefully next week somebody will be on the roof starting to take that off, and the brickies will be here building as well at the same time. We'll see. I'll keep you updated. Saturday morning, we've just had a bit of positive news. The brickies are coming to start on Monday to do a little bit of wall building work. So I've basically just ran 2 level lines up to where the finished inside internal brick and out external brick is, because obviously they've got to run it right the way up to the original wall plate for the roof. You know, the top brick which carries the roof. They've got to run their bricks all the way up to that. So I think I'll have to cut off this spar so they can get the brick in, but I'll double check that before I do it. I've just cut the fascia boards out of the way basically. So that's that side. And then this side, yeah, just going to put level lines up again. You can see where they've already started with the bricks lower down. And that wall plate obviously isn't that high. It finishes on that brick, but I'll probably just nibble away at the, well, I'll cut the fascia board off, so it's definitely out of the way for the brickies. Don't want to hold them up. Better try and take that old tie off as well, which will be well rusted in. I think that'll do, because I'm sure they'll just run their bricks up now to the same height as that. And that'll do for today, because it's obviously raining again. Never nice emptying out your own kitchen cupboards, but someone's got to do it. Now, that's the waste pipe we've got altered to outside. I can feel it down here on, I think, an elbow going to outside, so I'm not sure what I'm going to do. I'll remove this access panel now and see what's what. And see if I can pull the pipe forward to the back of the cupboard and cut it off, coupling and through the wall at a longer length, hopefully, just so I don't have to renew everything, because I won't be able to do it with the back of the cupboard in the way. Can't get any movement really on the inside, so I'm trying to break off that old elbow which is on the end of this pipe and see if we can work from here, to be honest. I mean, worst case scenario is I have to cut it all out and start again and cut out more of the back of that cupboard, but I don't know. Seems to be doing not too bad with removing this. Right, I've got a coupling on there. I'm going to put a McAlpine elbow on here so we can take it off when it comes for rendering. So the coupling shouldn't be seen by the time it's rendered, and it'll just be a fresh piece of pipe sticking out for us to do it properly. Obviously this is only temporary, that's why I'm putting the McAlpine elbow on so I can take it off when it's ready for rendering. I'm just going to do the same as before, angle a piece of pipe down in there. It's not the best weather for doing this, but I've got it in my head now, so we're doing it. Right, that'll do. I need to get out of this rain, it's doing my head in. I'm soaked. Another job ticked off. Still need to sort out the outside tap at some point, but yeah, I'd leave that for now, because the brickies are obviously using it to put the mixes on and stuff. I don't know whether the rendering will get done this year or not. Sunday, and as you can see by the sky, absolutely glorious. A bit cold, but not raining, that's the main thing. Currently just putting these starter rails on. I don't know what they're actually called. Multi-starters. So how they work is you just fix them to the existing wall, stainless steel, with stainless steel bolts, and then these drop in like that, so it ties the new brickwork into the old brickwork, if that makes sense. You've got to be level from the centre of the bricks where the wall's going to be coming out, and the bricky will put in the ties afterwards, but I'm just going to get these fixed up on this side and on that side to give them a helping start on Monday morning. Fairly straightforward stuff, really. Starter plates, or starter, whatever they are, starters are on both sides now. Lovely. I did fix some of them to the joint and then some of them to the actual brake, but either way, they're nice and solid. They ain't going to go anywhere. And I did just have to cut off that, you don't know, you can see it on the camera, but that roof spar which comes down, because it would have landed in the way of the top wall plate brick on the new extension. So that's all done now. Happy days. Block and everything is here, ready for the brickies to start tomorrow. Or bricky is only one tomorrow, so there won't be as much progress as how fast they got this bit done, but it is block work, so it should fly up really. We'll see how they get on, and I'll catch you back tomorrow night when I'm back home from work. Oh, these, that's the insulation for inside the cavity basically, and I believe that's what fixes it to the bricks with the you just drop them in the mortar. I think we'll find out tomorrow though. That is the end of Monday. My dad has been here labouring on the bricklayer. There has only been one here today, but obviously with my dad cutting and putting mixes on and stuff, they've cracked on. There's only that little bit of pack of bricks left, and that. So I'll have to go and get some more in the morning, and see where they can get up to. Build a bit of a trestle with them planks for scaffold. Well, not scaffold, but a bit of height to be working from, because obviously they're getting above a height they can reach now, and with a bit of luck tomorrow this will be built up to wall plate height, that'll be built up to wall plate height. I don't see why not. Then we're probably going to be wanting this lintel over what's going to be the bifold doors, but it's taking shape now a little bit. I'm happy with the progress today, to be honest, but we have had absolutely beautiful weather. This, however, has made son's bedroom, it's going to make the son's bedroom dark by the time it's come on, but I knew that was coming. Might be able to cut back some of this shrubbery to give it a bit more light, but it is what it is. Let's be fair, it's 4 o'clock in the day and he's not opened his curtains, so I think it's going to make a blind bit of difference. But that is a little bit of an update on what's been going on the build today. It has given good weather all week. Bricky's back tomorrow. Hopefully my dad will be able to come for a few hours just to labour on him, and as I said, with a bit of luck they'll be at wall plate height. They are starting on the roof Wednesday, which I think they're going to start on the back first, because obviously that's the more pressing issue. Strip all this back and get the, I don't know what it's called, I suppose the peak, you know what I mean. The spars in, the roof spars made up and in and on top of the wall plate, and then the brickies will be able to come back and build the internal peak there. Can I do this back to front? And obviously one at the front across the bifolds. Hopefully the weather stays on our side and they'll be able to get it back watertight by the weekend. By watertight I mean felt and battened, but we'll just have to see how they get on. It's all good progress. If the weather stays on side, we might get more done than I expected. Don't know. Either way, we need that side and that side built up and then the lintel in, and then we can get the window company who's going to make the bifolds in to measure up for the bifolds, and then they can be ordered, because as I said, if it's 6 weeks, if anything's going to delay the job other than the weather, it's going to be them doors. Tuesday evening, I'll do a quick update because there's not massive progress from yesterday. Obviously this is now up, so it is progress, but there's not a lot to talk about because it's just laying bricks, I suppose, and putting insulation in. Them red discs that I was on about the other day, and I said I'd find out what they're for. They're to hold the plasterboard off the external brickwork. I guess that's to allow it to breathe. So people in the comments will let us know. There's going to be another course of brick on that, because it's not quite up to the external brick height, but it's definitely not up to the internal brick height, because that's obviously higher, but they need to expose the roof before you can work out that height. And that height of that roof is higher than that one, which is a good thing. So this roof on the new extension is going to be finished the same height as that roof, and then that should allow the slates or tiles to flow onto, I think, the flat roof there. I think that's what's going to happen, but we'll know more as the job progresses. Picked up the lintel, HD lintel this is, apparently 4.2 meters, but as you can see I can pick it up. It's lightweight, so that's a bit of a positive. 2 of you, maybe 3, could get that on quite easily. I thought it was going to be a huge steel, but apparently that's strong enough. It must just be the shape it is that makes it so strong, I imagine. Not sure. Dad's not convinced, because he said them blocks are heavy, and then obviously you've got the roof on that as well. So, but the architects spec that, so that's why we're plumbers and they're architects. But other than that, that is us. End of Tuesday. Tomorrow, Bricky's not here tomorrow. Tomorrow the roof is going to be exposed to see what's going on. I guess there'll be some working out going on, and I'll do a little update tomorrow evening on that. Should be something a little bit different. The weather is holding off, and currently it's fine up until Friday evening, and then the weekend is supposed to be a bit iffy. But currently the weather forecast for next week is actually looking good. So what we could do with is Wednesday, Thursday, Friday this week being good. Not asked about the weekend, no one's going to be here. And then Monday to Friday next week being good. That will break the back of this roof, hopefully. We'll have to stand back here for today's update. So they stripped half the back of the roof off, and obviously felt and battered it just to make it waterproof. Half felt and battened, should I say. No bricklayer here today, just my cousin and dad and my cousin's old boss, who is a joiner. They've sort of worked out the pitch of the roof. We have 2 choices really. You either go for the 30-degree pitch, which is the top one. It's the same pitch as the existing roof, which is actually quite steep if you try and get on it. It doesn't look it, but it's slippy when you try. You know what I mean? It's not ideal. So I'm thinking we just go for the shallower one. It's only, the only thing that it affects is aesthetics. It doesn't affect anything else. It's probably easier to, well, it is easier to work on when it's a lot shallower. So I don't know. Thinking the shallower one, to be honest. But other than that, it's just been working stuff out, how things are going to work and that. So tomorrow the bricky's back. He'll probably get up to wall plate level off that roof. Obviously, as you can see here, there's a half a brick and then a block on top there. So that will, I'm guessing, will be the same height as that wall plate. And that's probably where it needs to go up to. Sound. And I don't know what else is happening. I've not seen anyone today because I've been at work all day. We have got a load of felt and battens. Obviously a scaffold up. We'll see what happens tomorrow. I don't think my dad's here either, though. I think he's going doing something else. I'm currently, this is the slate batten what's come off. Hard to believe that, well, I've been burning this for the last hour, these little bits. But all that came off, right, and we've only a quarter of the roof. Probably not even a quarter of the roof, and all, what? I don't know what I'll end up doing with this, whether I just chop it up and keep burning it, or take it to the tip. It's a shame, really, but it's full of nails, so no one's going to really want it for firewood, I don't think, are they? But yeah, that's today's update. Not a lot. There's some blocks, obviously more blocks here ready for the bricky tomorrow, but not a lot to report. Hopefully we'll get some videos from my cousins tomorrow, because they've been lacking to do that, and I'll carry on and give you an update tomorrow. The camera is making it look a lot lighter than it actually is. Spent all evening, well, I don't know, it's now like 8 o'clock. Yeah, cutting this slate batten down and burning it. The fire can't keep up with me. There's 3 bags there for kindling, so it's any pieces which didn't have nails in. I thought, do you know what? It's I don't want to throw it. I don't want to just burn it, because loads of people that we know have log burners, so it is nice wood. It burns really well. Obviously, it's bone dry. It's been under there 100 years, but no one wants to denail them, so I'll torch that lot and carry on damaging the ozone layer. No frigging doubt. Hopefully there'll be no one in the comments that has a go at me for that, but it definitely looks a lot lighter than it is. It looks a lot lighter on the camera than it actually is. It's pretty dark now. Update on the end of Thursday. The full rear side of the roof has been stripped off. The flat roof there looks like it's been cut back to accept the tiles going on, I presume. The bricky's been and put some block in. He's only managed to put one course of block on top of this steel lintel because obviously the metal doesn't absorb, so you've got to wait for the cement to go off properly on that bottom before laying any more sections up higher than it. Does that make sense? Because obviously when you're laying brick on brick, it's absorbing in it, so it soaks in and dries rapid, but on the top of the metal obviously it doesn't work. So one block on each side before you can build the peak. But he started building the peak on there. They've put a concrete lintel above across onto this supporting wall just because of the sheer weight of that. It wasn't actually on the architect's drawings, but what they were saying was, if I ever want to open up this properly, you know, I could open this up now from here all the way up, right the way across to that side. So yeah, it'd be the same size opening, but it'd be taller, if that makes sense. So we might end up doing that, so it's a bigger walkway through. Scaffold's been moved, ready for the bricky to carry on with his pike, whatever you want to call it up there. There's a lot of wood here. This is for the roof rafters. I think they'll be getting on with that tomorrow. So hopefully by the end of Friday tomorrow we'll have the shape of the new roof. Up there is dust everywhere. Believe it or not, these flags used to be black. But it's not rained, so it's nothing to wash it away. I was washing it away with the hose pipe, but I can't be arsed anymore. It's the same thing every day. It's going to be the same thing again tomorrow. What is the point? But a little bit of progress. I think that's all that is. I've just got home, so that's what you've just seen, what I've just seen. Hopefully they've got some videos today that I'll be able to add in before this and you'll have seen them already, but if not, we'll check back in tomorrow. Good morning, YouTube. It's Saturday morning. Didn't manage to get any footage last night because by the time I got back it was pretty dark, so I didn't want to film anything. But we have an angle on the roof, we have some trusses up, we have a purlin up, and we have these two peaks built. So lots of progress yesterday, in my opinion. It's starting to take a little bit of shape now. If I stand further back, you might be able to see it better. And this is what we're looking like from the inside. Because the bricklayer only did that yesterday, this is supported, this beam is supporting the purlin, so there's no weight resting on that brick wall yet. Give it a chance to set. And obviously the beam across the bifolds is still being supported, again, just giving the cement best chance to set. So I'm going to climb up these ladders and show you what's what. They're not quite finished with the brickwork on this side. Hopefully that will be done Monday, weather permitting, because we are forecast a little bit of rain, especially today and tomorrow. And I don't think next week's is looking anywhere near as good as what we've had this week, unfortunately, because yeah, they've had a really good week. That is obviously a big opening for a Velux. As you can see, the double roof trusses on either side. That's what you have to do when you have Velux in. Same on that side. Looking smart. Today, what have I got to do? I've got to put these straps down, which strap the wall plate to the wall, obviously keep the roof down. A couple of screws on top, and then some screws downside into the block work. I'm just going to check the drawings to see if we need 4, unless we can get away with 3. I think from what my dad said, he might be 1 every 1200, which that's fine, because if that's the case, I've only got 2 over the other side there, so I'll be able to pinch Rob Peter to pay Paul over there. But we'll see. I'll read the I'll read the drawings and see what it actually says, and then we've got to put in these, I think they're called cavity closers. I've also lost where they've gone. Oh, I can't find a thing. Where's it gone? Oh, they're there. Yeah, got to put these in to close off the cavity. They want cutting down, butt up to the floor. So butt on the floor, up to the top there, and then they get glued in either side. I'm going to do that today again before it rains. So that's my task for this morning. So I'll set you up on a little time lapse and doing some little bits, and then I might wrap up this episode there because it'll be about 40 minutes long. And we'll start a new one next week. Beautiful. That's the cavity closers cut to length and fixed on, just for silicone. So I need to keep them in position before the doors go on and the plaster closes it off. I don't know what for, but that's what they're there for. That's what they're called. We've put the roof straps on. They obviously stop the roof from blowing off. There's probably too many, to be honest. It said 1 every 2 meters, but well, 2 meter centers, but they're obviously like 1 a meter. Don't suppose you can have enough of them, to be honest. However, I need another 2 for that. One of them needs to be a bit shorter because it's above the door, so it'd be like here. But I'll have to smash off this plasterboard so I can put that on, so that'll be my next job. Take off that plasterboard there, and then that'll probably wrap up for the weekend before the rain comes. So it's Monday, and we have some nice progress today, in my opinion. Obviously that front batten there, that wasn't on Friday, and don't know how much you can see there. We might have to go on the scaffold, but we're hipped into the roof. Excuse the state of my my van. I've literally just pulled home and need to empty it out. There you go. That's better. Got some insulation in, some insulation tucked there as well between that rafter and the brick wall, and we are now hipped into the existing roof. What I'm hoping is tomorrow we get felt and battened, possibly, so it's watertight, because we have rain forecast on Wednesday. That's what it's looking like inside. They're all bricked up and finished. Absolutely beautiful. And some bits of insulation are starting to go in. It's looking a lot tidier now. Met up with it. Met up with progress. Like I say, if we can get felt and battened, tomorrow being Tuesday, with a bit of luck, the brickie will send us some video. With a bit of luck, the builders will send us some videos. And we'll be able to bolt this out and show you what's going on. Felt and battened tomorrow. That'll make inside there watertight. The Velexes are here, and the fitting kits. They ain't cheap. 1,500 quid. Sat right there. Grim. But needs must, and they'll definitely brighten the place up when it's finished.
Oh, because it flipping.
Bob on that, Mick.
That note, sounds like someone's mowing the grass. I've no idea, but it's horrendous and it's doing my head in. I'm going to cut the little clip right here and I'll catch you back tomorrow. Unless the builder sent some footage and you'll see them right now. We'll see what progress happens tomorrow. Tuesday evening. Now, there's not a lot of progress done today because they've only done half a day basically. They had somewhere else to be. We have some fiberglass valleys put in. I don't know if you can see them. Might have to step further back because I'm a short ass. You see them now? There. They're in position. I don't know whether they're fixed or what, but they're on the roof. A little bit of felt over the new extension where the cavity is to the old house wall, because we have forecast rain tonight, so that's watertight for the house side of things. Inside the extension, we've got the rest of the insulation done internally. That little dog poo bag there is my lighting cable. Other than that, I don't think anything else has been done in here, to be honest. That is it inside here. And outside, down the side, we have got the roof spars chopped back to allow for fascia board to be planted on. Bar this front one, I'm not sure why that front one's not been done. Don't know. But that's about it. That's about it for today. Nothing else has really been done in the few hours they were here. Which they've been on it for a good number of days now, so can't really complain. There is other jobs to be done. They don't just work on this house. Just hope the rain ain't too bad tomorrow, but for the next 10 days it's forecast horrendous. Which wouldn't be bad if it was watertight, because jobs can be done inside, but we're not watertight. This is going to slow the job up now, which is one of them things. We've had good progress so far. I'll take the progress so far. I'll take that last week. It was sunshine bliss. I'll catch you back tomorrow when, with a bit of luck, we'll have a little bit more progress. Weather depending. End of play on Wednesday. Look at them fascia boards, man. They look sick. Oh, it's the little things in it. You can't really see it on camera because it's bloody, it's being blurry, but yeah, the fascia boards are all on now. Apparently you need to do the fascia boards because it's easier to work out the, I don't think they're supposed to be left there. It's easier to work out the battens for where your roof's going, your slates, tiles are going, sorry, not slates. So what they've done is they've obviously put the fascia boards on today. So I'm made up with them, they look mint. Happy days. And they've felt and battened the new extension. So tomorrow the plan is to get the Velexes in, I think. And they've got to put a bit of fiberglass on the end of that underneath, to lip up underneath the new extension. So the felt and tiles will run onto the roof, but also the fiberglass will stop anything from going, if it wants to wander, you know, track backwards and go inside. So it's just going to be like a little flick, I believe, underneath, but we'll show you tomorrow. What are you thinking so far? I think it's looking nice. It's slowly starting to come together. But we have a storm due on Friday. So I've basically said, like, if it's as bad as they say it is, there's no point in coming because they're not having you getting piss wet through in the rain. Internally, obviously it's pretty much watertight other than the Velexes. Get the Velexes in, then the plumbing and the electrics can be done. So in regards to plumbing, the attic's obviously on the other side of this, so I'm going to pog 2 holes through and come down here, and there's going to be a designer radiator on this wall. Eventually we're going to have a wood burner in here, so I'm not too bothered about heat. Obviously you've seen the insulation. There's insulation in the floor, there's insulation in the ceiling, there's an insulated board behind that block there, so it should be quite warm in here. I think I told you what I'm doing with the electrics, but I also need to at some point smash out this window, which actually doesn't look very sodding stable as it is. I didn't realise that was so loose. And I've got to stud that out, insulate it and board it, ready for the plaster to fly over that. And I've got to rip out that at some point as well, but obviously then it'll be open to the elements unless I buy some boards and block this off. Ideally, I don't want to do that because 1, I've got to get rid of the boards, and 2, it's just extra money for the sake of what? Waiting for the doors to get put in. We'll see what gets done tomorrow, but I can't wait for the Velexes to be in. Velux, and get this watertight, other than the massive opening. End of Thursday. We've got some, what are they called now? Dry verges. Is that what they're called? We've got some dry verges on. We got some Velexes in, and we got some tiles on the roof. Look at that. Slowly starting to get there now, isn't it? Obviously all the intricate cuts left to do by the looks of it up there. They've done a few into the valley, but that's looking well smart now. Ready for the storm tomorrow. My task tonight is to load that into that. However, there's a lot of tiles still on it yet. I may have to empty them out. Don't know where to put them yet. And inside, obviously, there is our Velexes in. Looking smart. You can tell everything closed off now because I can feel like it sound like a little bit of an echo going on. That has had some new fiberglass, like I say, whipped up in there. You'll have to excuse the winds. As I said, the storm is en route. Looking smart, isn't it? In my opinion. Not a lot's been done at this side other than a few. In fact, no, there's actually more cuts been done at this side. This side's pretty much finished. I don't know what these are for. The blocks of wood, what's screwed in. I'm not sure whether it's, I don't know. Pass. Not 100% sure yet. I'm going to get down off the scaffold before I fall off. Those plumbers not used to working on at heights like that. Tomorrow they're only doing half a day. They're hoping to get the rest of that extension tiled in and the felt and battens put on the main roof, just so it's all batten down the hatches, ready for Storm Amy, which is en route at 4 o'clock tomorrow. But they're only doing half a day because they've got somewhere else to be, which is fine. That room's watertight pretty much other than the doors. We're waiting for the electrician, the plumber. Needs to put his pipes in. But the doors are 3 weeks away, so they're being made as we speak. So that will hold the job up. I mean, things can be done inside, like insulating this ceiling again and boarding out, starting to board out, but not until the electrician's been, so, which is next weekend. So we've got another week yet. So overall, no real rush. I'm going to stick a time lapse on and I'm going to get rid of all this crap after I've loaded the van up for work tomorrow, because that's the most important thing. That pays the wages. That pays for this to happen. giving up time lapsing. We're going having a break. There's actually more there than there is actually more there than I thought. I'll check back in when I've done a little bit more. It's time for some pipe work. Well, at least a little bit of first fixing. So as you can see, I've drilled 2 holes through into the attic, just so I can get these 2 legs down to below skirting board level. Ready for plastering really. I can first fix the pipes properly after it's been boarded and plastered because I'll just run it below skirting board height to whatever position we want. Because we've not decided on the radiator or positions of things yet, so let's get the pipes in position, get these cleaned up. I've taped them to protect them from getting attacked by the bricks, even though there's only 1 course of bricks and then 100mm of Cellofex insulation. I don't think it'll matter. I'm going to solder these up just so it's tight back to the wall, so that when they dot and dab it doesn't encroach too much. They don't have to put too much dab on. Back off. All that pipe's wanting to do is drop down to the floor, so I'm going to have to pack it up underneath and we can get these soldered up. Could you have picked a worse time to run out of gas? Like right the way up here. Fuck. In Storm Amy. It's never going to get hot enough, that. Fucking, what a joke, man. Beautiful. Just let that cool down itself and we'll wipe off the flux. Finish taping them up and push them back to the wall. And then we've got this lagging which slides over the pipe. I'll do that from the bottom, nail on clips all the way up. That's the stuff I'm using, top sleeve. It's only cheap, but it's good stuff. And it's virtually fireproof. Don't know if I'm going to put any more clips. I may put another 2 up there, but then the new wall actually steps back slightly compared to the old one, so I don't want to put another few mil on with a clip up there when I can't actually. It's not going to pull it back any further. I'm going to leave them off. I'm not bothering connecting to the system and testing them because there's only 2 elbows up there and I trust my joints. It's my house. I'll worry about that if we get a leak. Obviously that'll be lower than the board. Will probably finish about here, and then I can get onto them and run them to wherever needs be, depending on where the radiator's going. But that's the plumbing side of things. First fix ready for boarding. Still need the electrics done. Still need to count and batten this top peak so that you can put the spotlights in. I'll show you outside where we're up to. It is still a storm, but it's only windy now, not rainy. As you can see by the garden, it's piss wet through. So outside, the full extension roof is finished. I think I've shown you the dry verges and stuff. All the back roof there is felt and battened. Well, it was already felt and battened, but it's battened. And I don't know if you can see the packers underneath the batten. That's to try and get it a little bit flatter, even though it doesn't really matter on the back. And they have started tiling the other side. They only did half a day on Friday yesterday because they had other places to be. Plus the storm was coming. Started tiling, matched up to next doors. We have used the same tiles as next door, so it blends in. We're not going to use the same ridge tiles though, because I don't like the orange. I want grey. And I don't want next door to be, our house to be twinning with next door, to be honest, because that just looks weird. So Monday they're going to be back. Hopefully carry on tiling that roof and maybe finish it, and maybe get the cross members in at the top, just in case the sparky comes later on in the week. As you can see, it's put some serious rain down. I don't know if you can see that, but that is a good couple of inches of water, because obviously there's no gutter on this side now, running it back into the downspout over there. We are going to have a gutter. I can't remember what we're going to do with this now. It's going to come across, I think, a 90 across, and then down into an eco drain, running right across the front edge to tie in with that other drain. That is going to be the plan going forward on that. Oh God. So now I've done the plumbing, I'm going to tidy up my plumbing bits and possibly take out that window in the bathroom and get it stood back up with some insulation in. I'm not going to plasterboard yet, but it may be a job worth starting. However, the scaffolding's in the way and I'm on my own, and this three-piece section is actually sodding heavy. Made a start taking these windows out. Not the easiest thing in the world, but I tell you what, Mick, I've borrowed your cordless DeWalt Stilly. Oh my God, that thing is an absolute animal. How did I know the scaffolding would be in the way? Hack! One window out. I didn't put much braces in that, did I? When I tiled the bathroom. Must have been on a budget. Right, carry on taking the rest of this out now. It's coming out quite easy, to be fair. All the bricks are bollocks, aren't they? That's not good. Oh, they're just like a half brick. Window is out, honest to God. If I could warrant having one of them, I would. That is an absolute animal. They're cutting the screws off. Cordless beast. Battery power's come a long way on it. Anyway, I just took off this bottom half course of bricks, which was obviously an infill for the window. I'm just going to clean off the rest of the expanding foam. I'm going to insulate that now on the inside, probably in that void. And then this will be a stud. I think I'm going to bring the stud just 10mm shy of the finished surface. That'll allow for plasterboard, and then you can dot and dab straight over that. Just going to literally use offcuts of what was never insulated before, and that's the bathroom, so it's an internal wall, so it doesn't need too much more soundproofing, if anything. Got quite a few offcuts over there, but I've got to board that door up as well, so I'll save the big pieces for that. Might as well use the smaller pieces for behind here. I'm not sure if I showed you it all insulated, but That's all insulated. I've started to put the framework in for a piece of plasterboard, and then they'll dot and dab over it again with another piece of plasterboard. It's just something for them to stick the board to, I suppose. However, I've not got any more freebie 2. I have, just not long enough lengths. However, I do have enough, but it's currently in that wall holding them boards on, so I ain't going buying more. I know it's only bloody £8 or whatever it is a length, maybe less than that, but I ain't going buying it when it's there, because as soon as I take that down, I'll have it yeah, no point. No point, mate. Oh, whilst we're on to buying stuff, who wants to up to date how much this has cost? As it stands, up to date. So far, we are up to a disgusting £19,800, give or take £50. £19,800. We are having the whole roof done, so yeah, I suppose that's a lot. Velux is £1,500. That's not including the bifolds. I know how much the bifolds are. I don't know if I've already mentioned this, but I'm pleasantly surprised with how much they're costing. I'll let you know as and when we get them and when they're fitted, the overall cost of them. But yeah, we're on 19 grand so far. In my head, when me and my cousin were speaking, we had about 30 grand total to do the lot. We may just be in that. We may just get in that. We've got 10 grand left to play with. Got tiles to buy for the front of the house and back of the house. Felt and batten, well no, I think, yeah, felt and batten for the front of the house as well. Gutters to do, some more drainage. Plastering inside, electrician, flooring, bifolds. Nah, yeah, I think I'm going to be over 30 grand. Oh no! Better get working more, Anna. And on that note, I don't think I'm going to do anything else other than maybe a couple of tip runs tomorrow on Sunday, or a tip run tomorrow on Sunday, just tidying up a bit more stuff. I don't think I'm going to do anything else in the extension, so I will catch you on Monday after they've been hopefully finished the back half of the roof with the tiles. End of Monday. As you can see, we have a fully retiled rear roof. And the ridge has been put on the extension. Obviously the ridge at the front part of the house, the main house, can't go on until the front's done. The scaffolding is round the front, ready to start the main part of the house. That is going to be Wednesday, I believe. Obviously tomorrow being Tuesday. Not a lot else has happened. The trailer's here. I'm not sure what for. I don't know. I don't think they'll want me to chuck that lot in. I don't think, because it's not really worth them getting rid of it. Inside, the scaffolding's changed heights. And that is because tomorrow they're cross battening this, I believe, and insulating it. So there's a void for the electrician to run his cables. They're putting the beams in across there to make that flat for the spotlights. I don't know what else is being done in here. I think that is it for tomorrow. There's only 2 here tomorrow, so I think that will probably be it. Just inside here tomorrow. Which needs doing, because my electrician James is hoping to get here one day or one night this week. If not, it'll be Saturday morning. And until they're put in, he can't do anything anyway. I need to put a screw fix order in, actually. Just reminded me. That needs doing before he comes. Put one in tonight and be delivered tomorrow. Happy days, mate. With a bit of luck, we'll get a little bit of sunshine. This won't get walked on as much, and the grass will grow back before summer. It actually looks miles worse on the camera than it does in real life. However, me and my son have just been playing football. That's probably why it's looking a bit muddy and shit up, I suppose. I'm just currently burning some rubbish. There's not a lot to burn. I did a tip run yesterday, but keeping on top of it, because as soon as they rip off that front of that house, I'm going to have another load of old slate battens to cut up, and ones with nails in get burnt, ones without nails in I bag up for, well, our wood burner, our fire pit, or Dad's wood burner, or cousin's wood burner, anyone who bloody wants it really. Now with the crates, obviously we're getting a bit of a mound of them at the minute. I think there's even one on that actual flat roof as well with the tiles on. So that is 6. There is a church bonfire, obviously 5th of November, and you can put wood on that. It's not started yet. I could do in finding out when it actually is, so we can get rid of some of these crates, because I don't want them. And any other bits of crap that I can't be asked cutting up, and just get rid of them all in one go. Those who watch my plumbing side of YouTube on this exact channel will know that I have some sort of weird OCD organisation thing going on, and everything always needs to be tidy, so hence why I'd like to say this is quite a tidy building site for what it is, but I may be wrong. Not been on that many. Anyway, we'll catch you tomorrow, Tuesday, see what's been done. End of the day, Tuesday, and we've got some multi-foil backed insulation, counter battened, so basically for the electrician it just makes it easier because he can slide his cables up behind it apparently. No idea, not sure. That's flattened off now at the top for the spotlights, but that's what's been done inside here. So it's ready for the Sparky hopefully on Thursday. Obviously it's Tuesday today. Outside we've got the gutters on, 90 cap end downspout, no clips on it because obviously it's getting rendered, so there's no need for that. And obviously we've got to put our eco drains in and tie it round the other side for that downspout. And this downspout's obviously going into the gutter over there, at least the water's going somewhere. And also, yeah, we had the lintel changed on the kitchen because, well, it had started to swell. The old metal angle iron, it started to rust and swell up, and you could see, I don't know if anyone picked it up or I've mentioned it on a previous video, but that would have been all right for a good number of years. However, when you're getting it rendered, you don't want it swelling up even more because it'll just crack the render. So we've there's a new lintel gone in there, and they've bricked it up. Obviously there's the old bricks, you can just see the new lintel there underneath, so at least that's another job done. Nothing's been done around the front. Obviously all the scaffolding and that's been took down now and tidied up. Everything's tidied up inside. We are going to get some more scaffolding. My cousin has some aluminium, like mobile one, just for plasterboarding, and the plaster is in there. But other than that, it's quite tidy. It feels like it's going to absolutely pee it down. Probably see that on the sky. So I'll check in with you tomorrow when they stripped off the front of the house. We'll see where they get up to on that front. With a load of burning to do, no doubt. Whether depending on whether that'll get done. And then I'll probably wrap up tomorrow, this episode tomorrow. And we'll continue after they've finished the roof on the front. And a bit of plasterboarding and bifolds are in, will be on next time's episode. Hope you're enjoying it. See you tomorrow.
careful. Right, Mr. Central Heating King, I've got you a present. You got to come up here to do your plumbing. Oh, nice loft that. Yeah.
Thursday morning. I didn't manage to film yesterday being Wednesday night because when I got back the front of the house had been stripped off, as you can see from the builders videos, and they basically just left the slates on top of the flat roof and the scaffolding and said if you get a chance, take all them slates down. So it's ready for us in the morning to fire the tiles up. Obviously that's a job I can do, taking slates down off that. That's the front of the house. Most of it's been felt and battened and straightened out a little bit, most of it. The valleys are in as well. But yeah, the reason why I didn't get to record is by the time I got home from work, I had an hour of daylight, or just over an hour of daylight, to try and get them slates down and piled up here. It's a lot of slates. It took me until about 8:30 at night. In the meantime, I had a little fire going, as we still have this morning. It's 7:30 in the morning, don't ask. But I'd say I've got rid of, I don't know, 2/3 of the slate batten now. However, I'm gonna have to go to work in half an hour. So that will be continued tonight. So where are we up to? A trailer full of rubble, which I've got from there, and a couple off the flat roof. Did not finish tiling at the front yet, but that's waste to get rid of. We have got a fire going at 7:45 in the morning. Oh, I'm obsessed. Put a clip in here of Prodigy and my fire starter. Inside we've got cables in for our sockets, a couple on there, lighting circuits in. Yeah, that's outside lights on each side are in there as well. It's feeding there for a smoke alarm because you need a wired smoke alarm. And yeah, I've had to drill another hole and sleeve it into the attic, so the smoke alarm will be paired with one in the hallway, just in case they ask for that. So there is a cable into the attic already. Still got a load of cardboard to get rid of, but because it's wet through, I can't get shut of it. I just can't get shut of it, mate. So on the front of the house, that right hand side is pretty much all done. That's all tiled. There is just a little bit up here to do and across, and the dry verges to put on. It's looking good. They flattened it out. Don't know if you'll be able to make out the hump on next door. There's about a hump in the middle of the screen now. Can't see it from face on, but I'll try and show you from a different angle. But they flattened it out on my side. I've been told to take them tiles down as well off that scaffold. Ready for them today. They don't need them there. But as you can see, next doors is still asleep. And I'm not that much of a arsehole neighbour that I will wake up at this time. I will do things quietly, just subtle enough so it doesn't upset anybody. That's where we're up to. Welcome back. With a bit of luck in this episode, we might be something like finished before Christmas, as was hoped and planned. But yeah, I will catch you later on today or tomorrow, when hopefully the roof's finished and we're a bit closer. All them crates are going today. Still need to decide what to do with the slates as well. But there'll be nobody on site now for 2 weeks until the bifolds come after today, which is a shame. But I knew the bifolds would slow the job down a little bit, so it is what it is. I'm happy with where we're at now. Sunday morning. I've not had a chance to put a video update, but obviously nothing's happened since Friday afternoon anyway. In regards to what has been going on, other than the front of the house finished, which I'll show you in a second, just been tidying up really, getting rid of crap, mainly burning it. Crates are gone, someone wanted them. I can't remember what else is on there. Been on a tip run, got rid of all the old gutter in fiberglass and stuff. Inside, I have been this morning, got rid of the 2 flow and return pipes that were to the existing radiator in here. That's not happening anymore because all this is going to be storage, and then a telly on the wall there, hence the socket. This doorway is going to be blocked up, as I've said, and that's all going to be opened back up again. Light switches behind that board. I have, however, James is not going to be happy with this, the Sparky. I've moved the sockets from there and there. Obviously they were symmetrical, because afterwards I thought, if we have a wood burner in here, which I think we are going to, obviously we have to put a vent in, then the flue is not going to go up through the roof. I'm not sure about that Velux and the flue being closed. I don't know. Anyway, we'll work out the regs as and when it comes to it. It's not going to be a this year thing. But thinking forward, I hadn't thought about that socket. That probably would have been behind. If the wood burner goes in this corner, the flue goes out, and then an external one run up. That would have been behind the wood burner, which I wasn't happy with, because one, I'm not sure about how much heat is going to be behind there, and two, if the flue does come out this corner, it probably would have landed smack bang on the cable. So basically I've just moved it across like that, and same with that, so it's parallel again and level, because I think the flue is going to have to come out on this wall, up, and then obviously up to, I think from what I've read, they need to go as high as the peak on the outside, like most chimneys do. There is one hiding behind the bush over there. But yeah, I think it's got to go up and then be strapped, supported to the underside of the roof. But that isn't a this year problem, that won't ever probably be featured on YouTube either, because I'm not just gonna, that's gonna be months and months and down the line, way after the room's finished, because I can't afford it for one, and two, I'm kind of undecided as to whether it's ever going to happen or not. But I thought I'd better move the cable to the socket just in case it does, before I move round to the front and show you what's what. Next Friday, obviously it's Sunday next Friday, hopefully the bifolds are going in, should be delivered and in. The ceiling will be boarded, and then the plasterers the following week. So I need to get prepared for the plasterers. So next weekend, as soon as these bifolds go in, that doorway is going to be opened up. This is going to get boarded up and finished. That door's going to get boarded up and finished both sides. And this needs a little boxing in. We was going to go up to the top and blend it in, but I thought that's just going to be a waste of space. Mrs.'s plan is we box this in, get it plastered, and then maybe make it into some sort of like stand, brew stand or whatever, because the couch is going in this corner. Basically, I think it's going to be a corner couch. Do you know what I mean? Put a wooden top on it or something, but for now, I need to build a box for that. That can be done as and when. I've also removed the capped pipes out of the kitchen, which you probably can't remember, because that kitchen radiator, I'm running new feeds into it, different feeds, so they're capped underneath the plinths now out of the way. And on the front of the house, wait for that car to go past, everything is all finished. New fiberglass valleys in, new end caps on, all completed, looking absolutely mint. I don't know if you can see the hump in next door's roof there. Well, we've got rid of ours. The whole roof had a bit of a hump in it. You can see it in certain places, especially when you're coming down the road and you side onto it, it looks horrendous. But they've flattened ours out. Can't see it from the front. Not that it makes much of a difference, but it does look better. So me and the doggo are going to carry on. Don't know, just doing little bits. Build that box later today. And just do little bits this week till Friday. It's going to be nice to have a pleasant break. I'll give you an update on the price on Friday as well, after the bifolds have got in, because we're fast approaching £30,000 now. Don't get me wrong, I might not be very good at joinery, but I do enjoy doing it. Just going to put them plasterboard over the top of that now, ready for dabbing over for Z-plaster. Plasterer, not plaster. Trying to get ahead of the game for Friday. Unfortunately, I am running out of light. However, the camera always makes it look a lot brighter than it really is. Let me, oh no, it's no point. So, before anyone says, you shouldn't store plasterboard upright because they bow over time, but obviously they're not going to be there for that long for it to make a blind bit of difference. I have used steel screws on this, which you wouldn't if it was being skimmed straight over, because they can rust with the water inside the plaster skim. Obviously this is getting directly skimmed on top, so we're using proper plasterboard screws. I thought I'd better point that out. I'm going to show you, for those that don't know, how easy it is to cut plasterboard and what technique you should use. Will be common knowledge to most of you, but I'll show you anyway. So as you can see, we've got our marks, and you simply use a straight edge, score down it, stand the knife blade, give it a kick, and then score down the back. It's as simple as that for cutting a piece of plasterboard. Tuesday morning, and then we've got a bit of daylight now. I can show you what we actually did last night. So that's our box done, window boarded up, done. And as I lost light in there, obviously I had the torch on, but I don't even think there's actually that much left to do in there now, other than take all this out. But I can't do that yet. Could maybe start knocking that plaster off tonight. Just tootling along with bits, really. Instead, this was a door casing, obviously, and at one point I stood it up, but before that it was a door case. So I've dot and dabbed some pieces of plasterboard on there. Hopefully that'll be all right for the plasterer. I have, you probably can't tell on the video, but level lined it across, so it's perfectly square, perfectly flat with that side, and just filled in the excess board adhesive in the back of there. So with a bit of leather plaster, I'll be able to put his beads on and skim straight over that, obviously on both sides. Do need to do that top part, but clean all this expanding foam out and put a board on that and see what's going on there. But that's only screwing it too, I think. We'll see what happens when I clean it off, but I ran out of time and enthusiasm last night. That's probably going to be a tonight's job. Sort that little trim out there. I don't know what else. It all boils down to getting these bifolds on, so it's then secure and watertight, because at the minute, if it does rain, it tends to drive in and starts slowly seeping to that door. There must be a slight fall on the floor. But obviously I can't take all that out until these bifolds are on, which is obviously Friday. So just for this week, tossing it off a little bit until we get a little bit nearer. There's been a serious lack of updates. It's now Friday afternoon, but however that is because nothing's happened really other than today. Obviously the bifolds have gone in, almost finished. Just needs sealing up after expanding foam's gone off, but obviously we're getting it rendered anyway, so no major drama on that. I'll show you how these work if I can zoom out, or I'm already zoomed out. Nice and easy. Needs hoovering and stuff, but it's nice. A nice operation. With outfitting, they've come to £2,390, so I didn't think that was that bad. Obviously it can open up wider. I've just done it for the purpose of the video. It can still open up wider yet. They're aluminium, not plastic. You can get cheaper ones which are plastic, but yeah, the bifolds have gone in, so the room is now watertight, and the ceiling's been done with them intricate cuts around. The velexes are all mited off as well. They look proper smart. Holes have been drilled for the spotlights and cables are just there ready. And the plasterer is coming on Tuesday. Whether he starts on the outside rendering or the inside is weather depending, because obviously the inside can be done whenever really. It can be pissing down outside, he can still do the inside. So he said he might start on the outside first if the weather's half decent, which will be putting your base coat down, your scratch coat, whatever it is. At least get it to that stage. Yeah, I said I'd give you an update on costings up to now. We are now on £28,792-ish. Well, I said £2, it is ish. 28,000, nearly 29 grand. And there's possibly another 5 left in it, I think. Maybe 6, depending on what floor we go for. Oh my God, it's disgusting, isn't it? But yeah, it's going to make a fantastic room. As of this video, my first episode of this went out last night on YouTube and it's had nothing but positive comments and people are excited to see it going forward, so I'm happy about that, because there's nothing worse than throwing out a video and it flops. However, I've done it for me, myself, as well as your viewership, because it'd be nice to look back and remember what it was like and what went on. But as of this weekend, I've got a busy weekend ahead. I've got a knock through, which that won't take that long, make good of the walls, and I've got to stud that wall where the door is on both sides and plasterboard it ready for the plasterer. I've also got to take, that's just the old bin shed. Yes, the tiles are on completely wrong. I did it and I made do with what I had at the time. It's quite old now. Like the tiles there, look, they're on lengthways. Some of them are, yeah, it was just a bin shed basically. But it does keep stuff dry, as you can see. But that's got to come down because obviously this wall's getting rendered. I've got that pipe to sort out, which I think is an old oil feed for some point, but I need to double check. You know what I mean? I don't want it to be gas. It can't be because the gas only goes to the boiler. Anyway, got that to sort out. And I've got to take off that outside tap, which is fine because I do have another one just there. So they still got water for mixing and stuff. Take that out and get them to render over, and I'll just drill a new one out when the time comes. But busy weekend, so I'll catch you on a time lapse when I'm ripping down this kitchen door and that stud wall. Saturday morning. I did, as you can see, make a start on getting rid of this pre-existing stud wall, but I didn't film it because it's pitch black. I had to have the uni light on and stuff, so there was no point. Kitchen door I've took off and it's chucked on the back garden. That was a bit of a pain, but came out quite nice. So this morning my first job is I'm going to take up these tiles because the stud wall is going to finish roughly here. So I'm going to take up that tile and that tile, because afterwards the skirting board will cover up to that joint. I'll leave that one down because I don't want to stick the new stud wall onto these tiles, because if we ever change these tiles, that'll be underneath and just be a pain, in my opinion. So I'll take up them few tiles and we'll start building the framework for this. I'm going to finish this one plasterboard finish just a little bit back, a couple of mil in, to allow for a skim, so we can smooth that off flat. And on this side, I'm going to finish the plasterboard flush with the brickwork, because obviously it's going to get dot and dabbed. It's just something for him to stick his boards onto on this side. So let's get cracking with that. we always suspected there was a difference between that wall and that wall in the kitchen. But obviously, you can't really tell up there, but you can see now just how far, it could have been my tiling, but I doubt it. This is definitely set further back than that one. But by the time, obviously no units are going to be going on that. It's just going to be blanked in. Oh, and a radiator going on top of it. So by the time it's plasterboarded, unless you look down at the tiles or the skirting board, you shouldn't see the difference between the two. It's going to be a bit of a bow in it. But it is what it is. I've got my bottom braces on now in position. Set back the right depth they need to be. So I'm just going to put 2 uprights up. And we'll get our top ones on and our noggins in the middle. Centre brace. Flying. Ugh. Centre noggin in. If you're wondering what things like this and this are for, it's because I'm trying to recycle wood. Yeah, tight. I'm tight and I'm also skint after all this, so I'm recycling wood. And obviously the ones that I want to use aren't long enough. So that centre noggin is in now just for support. I'm going to put 2 cross members in across here. Now that finished height there is the height of one of our plasterboards. So I'm going to put a noggin in the middle, centre of that red mark, and it'll catch the top board and the bottom board, if that makes sense. And this void in the middle here, I'm going to fill from this backside when I put them noggins in. Not for so much insulation, because this is obviously the kitchen, a heated room. It's not an outside wall. It's more for soundproofing really, and to get rid of the rest of the kingspan. Dropped a bit of a bollock here. So I cut off some of the ends of that to make these infill pieces. I thought, oh, 100mm off or whatever it is, won't make a difference. It'll be plenty wide enough for the door. No, it's not. I've only got 3 boards there as well. So as you can see, I am like, I don't know, 50mm short, which don't matter for this side, because obviously this is getting dot and dabbed. That's only going to be there for him to stick to. So a little bit of a gap on this side's fine. However, I'm going to have to now move on to studding up the other side, because that side there can't be any gap, because obviously it's being skimmed across flat, so it needs to be tight, and that's more priority. But because it was short, I've now had to put another piece of timber in all the way down there to catch that edge to screw to. What a ding, man. It looks like it's a proper bodge job, this. Come on. Give it a good whack. Did it break? Yeah, you have to keep doing that with that one. It's not shatterproof. It's not a shatter door, a glass, piece of glass. It's just a single pane. Don't touch it with your hands though. Yeah? Don't let your kids try this, do this at home. Open sesame. It's all down. That side is all boarded up and cleaned up, so hopefully the kitchen will stay a bit cleaner. Inside here I've still got some plasterboard to take off and stuff, like up there, but the plan here was to have some IKEA units, some storage across this wall. I've forgotten about the light switch. So my plan with the light switch is, when the units go in, mount the switch, because these are going to be shelving units, these ones. Mount the switch inside the shelf. However, the units are 360 deep, the wife wants, this isn't 360, and it's definitely not going to be 360 when the dot and dab goes on here. So I might have to put a plant on piece here of 60mm. Now, because I'm going to do that, I'm going to leave that as is. And I've just poked the multi-tool blade flat with that brickwork through there. I'm going to run my blade up there just to clean off that edge, if that makes sense. I've chiselled up a little bit of the floor. That's a worry for another day, because the floor height's the same height as the kitchen, which don't make a difference because obviously that's blocked off. But I don't know if you can make out on the picture, on the video, that actually ramps down. So, this floor is slightly higher than that floor, which, yes, we can self-level and stuff in that room to try and make it less of a fall or curve or drop. But that's a worry for another day. That all depends on what we're having on the floor as well. If you're having tiles, you could probably float it out to lose that. I don't know. Flooring is least of my problems. I've filled in that side. So yeah, basically now I am just going to multi-tool that down there and try and break off the rest of this, because we've got a meal to go to at 5. Well, I've got to be ready and at the site by 6, and it's 3:10, so I'll do a little bit more and finish whatever I can't get done today tomorrow. It's looking a lot tidier though, and I love it all open plan now. That'll do for now. I'm not going to take all that slate batten off. I'm basically just going to run the whizzer, multi-tool up, and then they can do up to wherever they can get into that fence post. Ugh. That'll have to do. Sunday, late afternoon. Have I really done much today? It's not going to look like it, but we built off these. I need scraping all off, actually, I missed that. I've built off that by obviously 60mm to account for the units which are going to go across this side. By the time that's plasterboarded, it should be about right, allowing for 20mm-ish on dot and dab, that wall being dabbed out. I've took off this ceiling bit, so it's a fresh, flat Bosch for the plasterer. I've gone up this side. Again, that one's actually trimming off as well. All these things I've missed. And that's just going to be obviously smoothed over. Just had a tidy up really. Been and done a tip run and got rid of all the old board and that, which was just stacked around the side, because obviously if they start on the rendering outside before doing inside, it's just going to be in the way. Took off the outside tap and I have just slid a piece of sleeve in through, purely down to the fact I don't want to lose the hole, because the way it's piped up inside, it's all quite tight with tees off to washing machine, water meter. There's tons underneath. There's not a lot of room underneath the kitchen sink, so if they can go around it, I know it'd be a better job just go flying straight off and over it and easy for them, but I'd rather them just go around that, and I'll cut that off to suit as and when it's finished. But other than that, we've had quite a bit of rain down today, which is never good, but I suppose it's needed. We haven't had rain for 2 weeks. And obviously yesterday I stripped the bin shed down, so that's all gone. I took off that pipe, little copper pipe which was sticking through the wall, and had a quick sniff of it, and it was oil, so there must have been an oil boiler here at some point, or an external oil tank. I've trimmed off all them again, so it's just ready for the renderers to do outside or inside, depending on what they want to do first. I'm hoping they do inside, because outside doesn't really make much difference to me. Inside, obviously, I can crack on with painting, getting it dried out. Once the painting's done, the floor down, radiator on. Do you know what I mean? So I'd rather them do the inside, but it's all weather depending. If the weather's good outside, then they've got to take advantage of that, with it being mid to late October. There is other bits I can do inside. I could connect them feeds up. Them feeds. through the attic and down to the boiler, but honestly, I can't be arsed doing plumbing. I do that all week. I don't want to do that all day. It's all weekends as well. But yeah, for the rest of the night, I'm just going to take all these pieces of wood that we don't need anymore, timbers, back into the garage, have a tidy up here so it's ready for the plasterers on Tuesday. I'm going to take measurements of where cables are for obviously future, so I don't drill through them. Pipes have been pretty damn obvious for me because you'll see them at the bottom of the plasterboard. They're obviously in a straight line up. Just do a little bit more scraping off that insulation and stuff just so it's ready. I'm not going to do much more other than that. So I'll catch you on Tuesday after the plasterers have been, and we'll see where they've got up to and what they've done. In the back of my mind, I'm hoping most of this is going to be dot and dabbed, boarded. Kind of hope it's pissing down Tuesday, Wednesday. They might skim the ceiling Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Like I say, I'm not asked about the outside, but it does need doing. Monday evening. I wasn't going to do anything today because I'm suffering with man flu. We all know how bad that is if you're a male. But what I have done is I took off that top piece of plasterboard and put some noggins in for the radiator. Don't think I would have needed it. Probably could have got away with plasterboard fixings, but I thought, you know what, whilst I've got time, whilst I still can take that board off, I'll do it. I hung the radiator and cut out for my pipes. So skirting board is probably going to finish about here with the talon pipe covered. I'll be able to fill in around that afterwards. And I've ran these in behind that kickboard, which unfortunately this one here goes all the way to the back, which is a pain. So I've had to cut that out of the back, take the washing machine out, and I've ran my pipes. I don't know if you'll be able to see, flick this cover down. There they are. So they're ready for connecting on. No joints, just two continuous lengths right the way around. Oh, but that'll do for now, till it's plastered. I can sort them out after it's plastered and painted. And I've put this roll and stroll down just for protection, but I don't think they're going to get around to skimming that tomorrow. The weather ain't looking too clever, so what I think they'll end up doing is just dot and dabbing some of the walls in here. I think that's what they'll get done tomorrow, which is fine by me. Whatever, get whatever you can done. But it's due to get really cold this weekend, which is why I kind of thought I hope they get chance to start skimming, because I especially want that wall done where that kitchen radiator is going, because I'd love to get that back on, just to get a little bit more heat into this back half of the house. But anyway, I'm going to bed. Catch you tomorrow after the plaster has been. Monday evening, the plasterers have literally just left. They've done really well today, in my opinion. All of it is dot and dabbed, even around the window reveals and the opening reveal there. They've bonded that, so that's ready for skimming, which is good, because I didn't want them to just plant a piece of plasterboard on there, because it would have took again more off the opening. I've already took off an extra 60mm there. But yeah, that is absolutely mega. Almost all trimmed up, ready to go for tomorrow. There's a few more trims to put around the windows. But one thing I couldn't believe they'd actually done was this. The kitchen wall has been fully skimmed out, which is the one thing that I was looking forward to getting done. Because once this is dry, I can paint it all, get that radiator on and get some heat. Another radiator, another heat source in this back half of the house. I ain't going to be doing anything tonight. I don't think. I say I don't think because for rendering outside, for the stock brick round there, they've got some sort of chemical they can put on, like PVA, which will mean they can K-render over it. However, the painted brickwork here, that needs to come off. Whether that be grinded off or what, it needs to be keyed into, so it's got somewhere to take. Whether I do that or them is weather depending on whether I get time, because I've got to take the son to a Halloween party shortly, so I'm not going to get time today, and it's also pissing down. But yeah, that's another little job that needs doing, which I did not know about. So on that note, I'll catch you tomorrow when they've been back and done a little bit more. Tuesday evening, and everything has been skimmed. I cannot believe it. Absolutely everything has been boxed off in the day. All around there, all around there. Doggo. Couldn't have asked for anything better. And I said Tuesday, it's Wednesday. It's Wednesday, Dan. I'm a day behind on these videos for some reason. I think it's because they only started on a Tuesday. And I just keep thinking it is Tuesday. But yeah, couldn't have gone any better on that. That is absolutely pucker, mate. They're going to come back tomorrow, weather depending, and hopefully get the base coat right round with a bit of luck. Tonight I'm just going to be spending it tidying up a little bit, as usual. Smashing up the plasterboard and getting them in bags ready to take them to its tip. And maybe I'll take a look at the flooring heights, see what the crack is there now the plasterers have done inside. I'm absolutely made up the fact that they've dot and dabbed all that and skimmed it in 2 days. I don't know if that's good or bad. It seems good to me. Now it's just a waiting game for it to dry. As I said, I do have a dehumidifier and an oil heater, but I'm not going to put them in for a good couple of days because I don't want it to draw the water out of the walls too fast. So I'll catch you tomorrow, unless I do anything tonight, on them putting the first base coat down with the rendering, which is coming along now. Buzzing. Look at all that, it was empty before I started that window. Class this little thing, I think it's from Lidl or something, or Argos. Cheap version of a Karcher one. But hey, you can see what it was like. Obviously the relics is exactly the same. Doesn't help that the dryer's on. But there's obviously a lot of water in the air at the minute. I have got the dehumidifier out, but that's only going to go on tomorrow. I'm going to give it a good 48 hours before putting that back on, just to hopefully catch the remainder. I'm not too fussed about in here. I think I'll concentrate on in here first, because obviously this was done 2 days ago now, and it has started to dry out itself naturally. I think by the time tomorrow's here, it'll be pretty much good to go, that, and I can get my couple of mist coats on and then a final coat of vinyl. That is matte, that. But I'm going to put vinyl on this. Obviously dirty fingerprints, dog and stuff like that. And I can get the radiator on. Not so much bothered about skirting boards. That'll be the kitchen side of things done to a point, and then we can crack on within there. It's actually half term now. My lad's got a week and a half off, so it's obviously Thursday. He finished yesterday. Just waiting for the plasterers to turn up to start out here, weather permitting. They'll have a good go at it and get the base coat on with a bit of luck. I don't actually know how long it takes. Don't actually know how many coats you put on or what, anything to do with render. That's why I'm up early, doing a few bits of jobs. I just thought I'd show you the little wet window back. The little things in life, eh? My God, it is an absolute mess. Oh. Right, so up here, there are 2 heating pipes down to the extension. That cable there is for, how long is it actually? If we need a smoke in the hallway, you know, a linked smoke alarm. So that's been put in preparation. And I think I'd already said that these 2 pipes here are the ones which are going into my boiler cupboard, because it's not a direct route. It's not directly below here, it goes through a flat roof. I'll show you downstairs. But those 2 are where I'm going to pick up, because there's no heating pipes in this loft, just hot and cold, which is underneath that felt lag in there. So that's what I'm going to connect onto. because this is going to be the highest point in the system now. Oh my god, all these boards are loose. I'm going to cut this off somewhere like here, and then tee up to a fun vent. Same on this side, fun air vent, and then come straight off that across and connect onto that, which I might do today whilst I've not got much else to do. But I don't know what to do with all this mess, to be honest. Right, in reality, you'd take up all this fiberglass insulation and bin it and start again. But one, that's a complete waste. And two, I don't want the expense of buying new stuff, really, because I don't know. I might get the hoover up here and start hoovering up and turn all that insulation upside down, maybe. At least it'll look a bit better. Fucking hell, what's that go? Oh shit, that is actually the TV aerial. I better not pull that down. First thing I better do is start hoovering so I can use this platform to kneel on and get some clips on the joist coming across this way. I did a little bit of hoovering and then I think I killed the hoover. I think it's because I've been using it for wet back and dry, so I need to sort the filters out. But as you can see, all like the cobwebs dangling down on that side, I've managed to hoover all that. Am I the only person in the world what hoovers the attic? Am I that fucking, do you know what I mean? Like, weird. Anyway, I got the main bits of the floor done what I'm going to be working in. So I've just dropped them 2 legs in, pressed them elbows across there. All this needs insulating, but let's get them in. Ow. Let's get them in first. And I'm going to put another couple of clips on those 2 stabs of wood there. Come across and into that. And then I'm getting out of this attic because I've had enough. Like I say, I've only done a little bit, but it's done my head in. It needs some proper time spending on it. There's just dust and crap everywhere. Right, pipe work is in and connected up. A couple of fun vents on there, ready for when we bleed the system. Don't like automatic air vents. They're good idea, but they always fail, don't they? Let's be fair. So I just put thumb turn ones on. I did mess up here. I was supposed to have not there, here. That piece that I've soldered on was supposed to go straight in, no coupling. Never mind. And then I ran out of 15mm, so hence why it was couplings galore. Probably cost me a fortune, but it's got the job done. I didn't want to be coming back up here another day after I've got some more 15. They obviously run through to the attic. Just need all lagging up, but as they're empty at the minute, it doesn't really make no difference. Trims are on now. Obviously on the base coat they put this mesh in to bind it all together. I don't know whether that's one coat finished or what. Whether the mesh is under that, I'm not sure. This trim here is a corner bead. You can have a finishing bead, but I think eventually we'll end up getting the rest of the house done. So I just said we'll risk it for a biscuit and put a corner bead which allows you to go that way as well. It is what it is, isn't it? I think we will end up doing that, but money at the minute is not making that possible. So just the back for now. It's gone cold, man. I don't like the cold. So we have our scratch coat or our base coat, whatever you want to call it, coat down on the walls, trims and beaded up. As you can see, there's a top trimming. That's got a 5mm gap between the fascia board and the trim itself to allow for expansion. That is looking absolutely mint, even though it's just a scratch coat. It's still, when you stand back here, taking the notice of the grass, it always looks worse on the camera for some freaking strange reason. When you look back here, it's starting to all take shape. Other than that window needs spraying black. So it matches the bifolds, and that window needs spraying black. But I'm leaving that until obviously it's rendered. The scratch coat right around here. But obviously with this, I've got to put some lines, diagonal and crossways, every between 100mm and 150mm, just for something so it can key into when they put the base coat on. So that is my task for, I may do it tonight, but the weekend. Because they're not back Friday, tomorrow. The weather's crap. So if the weather's decent on Monday, they'll be back. I'll start putting top coat on a couple of walls, get that base coat on, and then be back a following day to finish it all off. But this doesn't hold anyone up outside here. However, you still want it doing, still want it finishing. I've got to put some grooves in this brickwork because it's painted and the render won't stick to it, so I've got to make a key for it to stick to. Similar to like the key what they've left on the base coat, that's for the second coat to stick to, but nowhere near as coarse as that. Every 150 millimeters, or well, between 100 and 150 millimeters. So I've put a few marks on the wall. Obviously, this is just for video purposes. It doesn't have to be that accurate, but that's what I've got to be doing with the angle grinder. Approximately 5mm deep. Just something for it to key to all across this back wall. I'm going to get my PPE on and get cracking with that before it rains, because this is the UK. Not impressed. Shouldn't take too long though. What? Friday morning, hence why I'm not at work, because it's half term still, obviously. Another week yet. This wall is drying nicely, but I cheated a little bit. I've now got the dehumidifier on, only just. You can see there just must be some thicker areas where it's struggling to dry, which is fine. No real rush. I only wanted to do it today, but sound. I've taped up, masked up where I need to. Zooming out. Right, I'm gonna now clean up all this floor area. There is a 10mm fall, or yeah, drop between this floor and that floor. However, it does smooth out. It comes back up here. It raises back up, so it's just like a divot, kind of. A little bit. Anyway, it doesn't have to be bang on level, but what I want is it nice and smooth and a flat. Because if we stick down what's called, or put down what's called LVT flooring, it's thin and it wants to be pretty damn flat and level. So I'll just try my best to get it that way. We're using self-leveling compound, even though it's not really self-leveling, it's more of a smoothing compound, I'd say. But because it's going down on asphalt, because it's non-porous, or at least I think it's because it's non-porous, you can't just put any sort of primer down. And after some research, I've already got some of this, but it's SBR. You use that for putting down on the back of paving flags and stuff like that when you're sticking them down. You mix a slurry mix, and that's why I've got it for when I did the flags at the back. But apparently that's the best stuff. So that's what we're going to use. I'm going to make sure all this is dust free and yeah, prime it to, I don't know, around here-ish. And I should be able to float that out when I get some self-leveling compound, hopefully later today. This stuff, as you can see, the difference between them two, it is just literally a diluted PVA mix. We'll go over it with SBR in the places where it's going to have self-leveling, but the rest of it is basically just to keep dust down. It just puts a seal on top of the concrete surface because, yeah, the dust is just galore. But I did it in the garage before painting the garage floor, and it did keep the dust down and just makes it easier to sweep up and stuff. So that is the only reason why that's down there. I suppose it is kind of a sealer, but it's not really doing much. The rest of this floor I have sealed in the past, hence why you can see the complete colour difference, but that's obviously because that's been walked on and it is still pretty tacky, but I don't think I'll be going this far with the self-leveling compound. But that's what I'm doing today. Well, for a little bit before I might take the son to the driving range. If he fancies doing that, get him out for a bit when I go and pick up some self-leveling compound, and I'll do that tonight right before bed, because yes, it's walkable on in 3 hours, but it only fully sets in between 9 and 12 depending on thickness. So yeah, managed to finish chasing out all that from yesterday. Weather's just turned to shit, which is why they're not here today, the renderers, plasterers. But never mind. So I'm going to carry on now, cleaning up and get some of this primer down. I'm using a pretty much neat mix on this, tiny bit. I've diluted it a tiny bit because obviously with it being non-porous it's not going to soak in very much, but we'll see what happens after it dries. Wow, that's too much on that, by the way. I'm going to spread it across. It smells fantastic though. So I'm just going to dilute this matte paint down to pretty much like a 50-50 ratio. 50% paint, 50% water. It's not fully dried yet, but it has fully dried where I need to cut in. So I'm just going to do the cutting in whilst I wait. I did put a pencil mark on an hour ago. Just a fine line pencil mark. And that's how much it's sucked in, well, or dried, so that's, it is flying, to be honest. That, however, I've put miles too much on, and now all it's doing is smearing, so I'm just gonna leave it. It hasn't even been on 10 minutes. It gets sick. Once I poured it down, I've got in there as well with it. You can actually see where I've gone again, because the rest of that is all PVA'd. Put too much down, but oh well. The reason why we do what's called a mist coat or a watered down diluted coat is because the plaster is so absorbent because it's brand new. If you just, to be honest, the rest of this is painted with matte and I didn't use a mist coat, just 3 coats, done. But if you use a silk paint, because of whatever's in it, the oils or whatever, yeah, it paints on, but when it dries, it'll start to crack and flake away because it's not actually soaked into the surface, so that's why we do a mist coat. A little bit of an update, that's second coat of diluted mist coat, whatever you want to call it, and obviously we're still waiting for that to dry, so that's going on stop now. I don't think that'll be ready today. I've just been messing around in here, taking off them ornaments that were on the wall and filling them in because they're not going back up, plus that wall needs to be all gone over in white, I think. Yeah, done a little bit more sealing. That is about it. I'm gonna go to golf now with the boy and pick up some self-leveling, so if I get that done tonight or anything else done, I'll catch you back. If not, I'll see you Saturday. That floor is drying out nicely. I said I was gonna leave it till tonight, but because this inside here is taking forever and a day to dry out, I don't think it's gonna be ready today. It's getting there, but it's, yeah. I'm just bored. So the stuff that I've got is this Mapai renovation screed. It's got fibres in it for reinforcing it. It's flexible. I believe it can be used over pretty much everything. It doesn't say anything about asphalt though, so that's not helpful. It says screed and plywood and concrete and all sorts of stuff. So for this, it says 4 to 4.5 litres of water to 1 bag. I'm just going to mix 1 bag and see where we get to. I'm not going to do the other one because I'm going to leave a walkway to get in the kitchen and that for the rest of the day. But yeah, I've got myself a spike roller. That's Dad's. Just needs a pole putting in it. But that, you get it to something like, and you run that through it. It brings the air to the surface and clears the air bubbles. So it just helps it settle and go off. Don't breathe it in. Should be wearing a dust mask. Do as I say, not as I do. Right, after this we've got about 1/2 litre extra to put in. Mix it on a low speed. You don't want any lumps in it at all. And it's also not advised to use a cordless drill, you better with a paddle mixer. Which my dad does have, but I've failed to pick it up. That's all mixed now. It says leave it to settle 2 or 3 minutes. I don't know if that's a lump or not. I'll have to get rid of. But yeah, 2 or 3 minutes, mix it again, and then basically pour it on and work it. Now apparently it's not that easy to use this. People make it look easier than it is, so I'm sure we're going to find out, aren't we? All I can tell you is that bucket, this bucket is heavy. Right, that's all I'm going to put down for now, about half a bucket full, and I'm just going to try and work that. You can see it, it's trying to find its own level. I hope the air bubbles are not lumps. To be honest with you, it's kind of finding its own height. It's kind of took itself out of the brickwork and just slowly making its way down there, which, yeah, I'm going to probably let this set before putting the second bag of mix on, just to see where it actually ends up and see what the fall's like afterwards. That's something like what I want. See how this bugger looks. A lot of it is, well, obviously this is the highest point this here. So I've built up the brick slightly, but it's still not high enough. A lot of it sloped into that corner and floated out the rest of it down there. I still think it's a good 2 or 3 mil lip there. I may try and smooth that out a little bit more, but on my next pass, I'll put a little bit more on there and build it up just slightly, because there's not as much to lose over there, I don't think. And if I need another bag, I need another bag, but got to give that now 3 hours. And then I think you can put another one on, but I'll just double check the instructions on the bag. That is about as much as I can get done, obviously, with one bag. You can see now, I need to wait for that to dry so I can put my spirit level on and see what else needs happening. Might need more over here. Definitely needs, obviously, this side floating out as well. But we'll just have to see. One most important thing is, 1, keep the dog away from it. Stay there. And 2, make sure you wash all your stuff after use. Here's my little dog barricade. Now, it's pretty much gone off, but not, you wouldn't walk on it like. Now, as you can see, it's far from level. But what my aim wasn't to get it level, it was to get it flat. It's probably wants about 1 mil just here, all the way in a line across there. It's pretty damn flat, that. The reason why wasn't interested in getting it flat is because the whole room, the further you go that way, the level, it's hard to see where he's going. Do you know what I mean? It's constantly the wrong fall, so I just wanted it flat and not so much as a ramp here, because you could feel the ramp on the carpet that was down even before all this. So especially if we get like LVT flooring, it would not like passing over that and you'd see it, whereas I don't think you'll see it now. I've floated it out. Whether I do the rest of it tonight, I'm not sure, but other than that, I'm going to call it a day for now with the filming, because this is, like I said, nowhere near, well, it's not far off, but I can't paint it. It's Friday night. I want a break from all this crap. Ha! So I'll catch you tomorrow. Saturday afternoon. Just got a couple of coats of your whitewash on, your diluted matte white paint. That bit took a little bit longer to dry, so that's only had 1 coat. And obviously same there, it's not fully dried yet, so it looks worse on the camera than it actually is. Last night, managed to get another screed floated out. You can just about see it over there. It's tucked down the hump a little bit. We should be able to get over it, providing I lay the planks going that way. If I laid them that way, eventually it put enough strain on it, it'd snap, I think. But if I try and finish a joint just on the top of this hump, it should float back. It's not actually that much, but that is a job for another day anyway. I may end up putting some more self-leveling down. I only had 2 bags, that'll do for now. Carpet's back over it. Currently hot boxing the place, trying to get it to dry out a bit faster. You shouldn't really do this, but I'm impatient. Should let it dry out naturally. Most of in there is pretty much dried. It looks actually darker on the camera, the wet bits, than it really is. But as I said, I was more bothered about this kitchen. This kitchen's now ready for its 2 coats, 3 coats of silk. And again, they look darker on the camera than they really are. And I'll be able to get the radiator on and connected up. There is said radiator, it's just the old one that was on already. I'm not bothering buying a new one. There's nothing up with that. So that's me back to painting. I hate painting so much that when I go to hell, that is definitely what the devil's gonna have me doing every single day. 24 hours a day, no doubt. I absolutely despise it. I have put, albeit it hasn't really taken, because that's silk paint. I put matte over the top of it just because it was grey, because we're obviously going to paint all that wall white as well, or whatever colour the wife wants. But if I can get it all white for now, with a base coat on, whatever we go over, it should be easier than going over with grey. But that's only a first coat. It looks horrendous on the camera than it actually does in person. But you see, it's not dried just there. But that is only 1 coat. I'm hoping the next coat will stick a bit better and it'll look a bit flatter and not as runny. But the runs are smooth, do you know what I mean? They're not drips. Just where it's ran down the wall. Anyway, I'm gonna get cracking painting and I'll catch you back tomorrow, because all I'm gonna be doing today is painting, and I'll show you where I've got up to. Right, Sunday evening. Obviously the clocks went back last night, so I've lost time. Not managed to whitewash everywhere like I wanted to this weekend, because just certain things ain't drying. So basically I had to go around them. As soon as I put a layer of paint on, even though it looks dry, the dabs start showing through. But they did that yesterday over there and they've gone now. So it is what it is. Most of it has been whitewashed with paint, but because it's gone dark, it's hard to show you. In the kitchen, we have a radiator. I piped it up last night. Job done. Connected up under there to the speed fit that used to go to the old conservatory window. And that's all silked, so washable paint. Finished. Light switches back on and cleaned. Well, they were always on, but screwed back. And yeah, that in here is just ready for skateboard. You can tell I've been painting. I tried a different tactic today. So I've been trying dehumidifier, Anna, for a few days to try it out. Then I thought I'll try dehumidifier and fan heater. That did help. And then I thought, let's try ventilation. So I cracked open the Velexes, opened the back door, and let it blow around for, I don't know, 3-4 hours. Didn't make a blind bit of difference. When I came back, still the same patches were still wet. So I'm just gonna have to wait, to be honest. It is what it is. I wanted, ideally by the end of this weekend, I wanted to get the ceiling finished, as in 2 coats of whitewash, 2 coats of matte or silk, and then that would have been it, ceiling boxed off. Because we haven't picked the wall paint, so couldn't do any more on that, but never mind, it is what it is. I'll catch you tomorrow whether hopefully the plasters will be it. That is all weather depending, obviously for the outside. If they're not, they're not, and I'll be no doubt painting. Monday lunchtime, and that's what we're looking like inside here. Still need a good number of coats yet on it, and still need for certain places to dry out properly. However, the renders are here, plasters are here. Crappy starts in the morning, it absolutely tanked it down. But yeah, they've got a coat on there, that's K-Ren stuff. Just needs to firm up now before they can flatten it back, and it should look something like that when it's finished. So they've managed to get that on. The scratch coat, base coat is on that wall as well. Did I tell you I went a bit too low with the grinder? It won't matter, I'll sort it out. I don't know how, but I will. And they've obviously got a coat on this wall as well. Nothing's been done at the front. I don't know why. Maybe they just didn't want to hit too many things at once. Plus they'll have to come back to do that when that's dry anyway. So I suspect today they've gone off for the dinner. Let that firm up. I suspect they'll come flatten that off, that other wall off, and then come back another day to finish that and that. Weather depending. Tuesday, dinner time now. Didn't get a chance to get back out here and show you the finished surface because it went dark and you wouldn't be able to see it, but they've yeah, got the rest of the coats on. Just gone for the dinner now, waiting for that to set before they can scratch it off and tidy it up. But that is ultimately what it's going to look like when it's finished. All around here done. There's a lot of wastage with K-Rend because that's just stuff what's fallen off from the first scratch coat. Wait till it's set even more. You end up with bags and bags of like just the surface dust or top layer. Like, look at that. Just, I don't know, a lot of waste in my opinion. But I've seen this before on jobs, so I think it's just the way it is kind of thing. That window will look better when it's painted black. But overall, it's brightened it up a lot in this corner because it was very dark. I'll try and get a finished clip before it goes dark tonight, hopefully. Kind of see it taking shape now. It's just a shame about the colour of them two windows. And inside, I've got a coat of silk paint on the ceiling. Needs another 1 or 2 coats, but I'm still waiting for bits to dry. Most of it has dried now, like that's had a couple of coats of matte on it, but waiting to decide what the wife wants for final paint colour. Still waiting for bits in here to dry, albeit it is getting there now. That slowly, it's probably the last bit. I think that is actually the last bit to dry. A couple of these have only had 1 single coat on them yet. Finally started to cover up that grey. But yeah, inside just been painting. I've run out of paint now, however. So I'm guessing the only update you're going to get tonight is going to be or tomorrow morning is going to be the final reveal of the finished K-Rend outside. Nothing much is going to go on in here now for the next couple of days, I wouldn't have thought. Get you a quick snap before it goes dark. However, it never looks too dark on the camera. But that is absolutely mega. Actually, it's only the windows that are letting it down with the colours. But yeah, it is white. Apparently in the next couple of weeks it starts to actually bring out the white in it. But the minute it looks magnolia. Even if it stayed that colour, I wouldn't be too bothered. I actually quite like it, but it's going to brighten up a little bit more as time goes on. Bloody beautiful, mate. Looks so much better now, it's all one colour. Made up that that's been done, because I did not expect that to get done before Christmas as well, because I kind of wasn't really bothered about it. What is going on? Right, I've not checked in for a good couple of days now. It's now Thursday morning. Yesterday I had to work. I've been at work this morning as well, so that's why I've not checked in, but I'll show you where we're at. We've got some paint on the walls. That is still drying, I hope. I can see patches on the camera, whereas in person, I can only see that little bit there. I'm hoping it's not going to need a second coat because I'm flying through the paint. I've not cut in yet. You should really cut in first, but I'm going to buy a cutting in tool and I haven't got it, which is the only reason for not cutting in first. If I have to roll her over the top to try and smooth it out, then I will have to do that. So all these walls are knotted twine, silk, Dulux. That's some second tin. There's the other one. And I've not even managed to do 2 coats everywhere yet. Yesterday we managed to pick up the floor. We did pick some from B&Q, but when we got there, they'd run out of stock. And then when we checked stock levels, they weren't going to get any more in, so that was a bit of a waste. Then we went to Howden's where they had some stuff, but it was rigid, which means it's like this, but then got another layer underneath, which was, I think it was MDF layer underneath that, which I thought, if any water gets through these joints and onto the MDF, surely it'll swell. And then the joints start popping. So that's not the stuff I wanted. I wanted this stuff. Now this has already got the underlay stuck to the bottom, so you don't need any underlay with this one. handle it. And yeah, I've got enough, and it was £16 something plus VAT per square metre, so it was actually cheaper than the 24 quid one from B&Q. So a win right there, plus the B&Q one needed an underlay as well. So we've got all the floor, that's ready. Obviously we've got the smoke alarms which can interlink together. So put one in the hallway, put one in the extension. They're just lap sockets, nothing fancy. Most of the time they get hidden behind stuff. And there's our tilt down lights, light switch, and our outside lights. So that's all ready for the Sparky when he gets back off his holiday. James, hurry up. But yeah, just painting in here for the minute. Yesterday, because it wasn't raining, it was quite decent weather. I put the outside tap back plate in, sorted out that waste pipe so it's actually terminating properly into the gully. Screwed up the down pipes as well. That's what it's looking like from the outside now. It definitely is brightening up. It just was looking a bit like magnolia, now it's starting to look white. The only problem is it's making the rest of the house look crap, but I can't afford to do any more. Show you around the other side. Big catch up this time. Got rid of the trestles, just need to get rid of the planks because we don't need them anymore. That gutter's down pipes obviously put on. Still waiting for the eco drains to run round and in, but there's nothing hard and fast about that. Bin shed is now back up as well. Screwed up. Yes, the tile slates are on wrong. As you can see, I've put them long ways here, short ways there. It is only for aesthetics. It does keep the rain out purely because, well, it did have felt under it. Now I've put visqueen under it purely because I've visqueened it, so it does keep things dry under there, but it's only for show really. Yeah, it just looks better than the bin just being stood there. So that's back up. And the big news is all the slates have gone. I've sold them this morning. A reclaim yard has come and picked them up. There's a pile of them here that are either cuts or broken that he couldn't use. I actually estimated we had about 800 there, and they offered me £1.50 per slate, so I was buzzing with that. And when he came, basically he's paid me 1,250 quid. That's including minusing all them, so I was absolutely ecstatic with that. 1,250 quid for some slates which, when next door had their roofs done, they just threw them straight in the back of the truck, smashed them up. Little win right there. He'll sell them, he reckons, for £2.70, £3, so he'll make a profit on them, and that's just probably going to pay for the rendering outside, or the materials for the rendering outside. That's going to be where that's going, because like I say, after that I've paid all my debts and I have no more money to throw at this place, so I can't afford skirting boards, radiator, the electrician. Can't afford any of that now. I need to get back to work, which will be next week after this half-term break. I'm just going to carry on painting now. If I get the cutting in tool, I'll show you that and how that works, and show you the painting with a bit of look finished today, but I'm not sure. I've now got the shitty task because the missus don't like the green anymore. This is going to go the same colour as that in there. They've taken these off and I pinned them and glued them. They are coming off though, pretty handy. Except that top one, but that shouldn't really matter. I'll just have to cut into that one. As long as it carries on like this, I'll be happy. They came off better than I expected. Just a little tiny bit of filling, which is fine. I thought about sanding that down, but I don't really need to because they're going back on them. I've numbered them all up as I've took them off, so I don't really need any filling. I thought I forgot to show you that the heating pipes in the attic I have connected up. They're up there with them 2 lever valves on. They're to the old circs that used to be in the cylinder in the attic, which is what the 2 pipes were. And yeah, clipped down, connected in, so that it's live up to them valves there, ready for when we get the radiator on. It is now Saturday morning and I've kind of done a little bit of progress without letting you know. I got some of the floor down, or most of the floor down. The dog's been scratching up the grass at the back garden. and bringing it in. I started this yesterday, just did a little bit. I've worked out that obviously I wanted a joint here for this little, hopefully it'll ride over this little hump. So that should land about perfect, which meant that I had a 45mm cut here, which I've not done that one yet, but I've done the other two. And I put my packers in because there needs to be a gap around the outside for expansion, obviously. With the expansion gap on this side, I've just basically kind of guessed because the skating board's going to cover all that anyway. So some of them are bigger than others. Oh, that one would have been a bit touch and go, wouldn't it? But it was getting dark at that time, so I probably couldn't see. With the painting, I obviously should have cut in beforehand doing the floor, but I was waiting for my little tool, which has arrived 7 o'clock last night. Thank you, Amazon. It's got 2 little wheels on, so basically you push it into your corner and glide it up. There's a pad on the other side, so you dip it in your paint and then glide it up. I don't know how good it's going to be. We shall find out. We'll see how good it's going to be shortly. But all I'll have to do is get that towel down, sheet up this floor for the ladder so I don't scratch it, or get paint on it. And then yeah, we'll spend all day now cutting in. Well, all morning cutting in. That needs cutting in as well, if the camera's going to focus. Is it going to focus? Yeah, cutting all that so I can put them slats back on, so then that's finished. And I'll show you when I get into that room, the floor, how it goes down, and why I'm not 100% happy with it, and how hard it is to cut. Because on the videos, it looks like you just score it with a Stanley knife, snap. It is currently Wednesday morning. I haven't filmed anything since the weekend. Although we do have progress, like the lights are up. Obviously Sparky's been back. We've got our smoke alarm in now. Started putting on, or back on, these wooden slats as the feature wall. The rest of them are under there. Because I've been trying to clean it, or the wife's been trying to clean off the silicone. Or the adhesive from the back just so they sit a bit flatter. So that's what takes the time then. Obviously sockets are on. Radiator is now on and piped up. Just needs a little bit of sanding and then I can put, well, painting and sanding, I can put my pipe cover on. Both sides are there. It's only a dinky little radiator, but she wouldn't let me have any bigger. She hates she hates radiators. But it's been on for the last few days and it's lovely and warm in here. Obviously, it should be with the amount of insulation what's in here. Not actually finished cutting in properly. Most of it is done, but it just probably wants a second going over in some places. And I have continued through with the floor. However, there's a big problem. So obviously we had this little hump here, didn't we? I say we. I'm passing the blame. We're all included in this now because it's a fuck up. There was a hump there, and I assumed putting a board on it, it would ride over, which it has rode over, but because the hump is directly on the centre of this board, I don't know if you can make that out, it's rocking side to side, and when you walk over it, it's highly annoying. Just because you can feel it, it doesn't do anything, you just feel it. Down this end, we don't have any movement. Obviously I'm still on underlay at the minute, but there's no movement, so I left it at first and carried on because I thought hopefully it'll settle. With the boards being so thin, they do bend a little bit. I mean, I can't do it one-handed. I wondered whether it would settle down. If that curves and bends to the shape of the hump, it may settle down, but that's a gamble, isn't it? Now I've already got myself right the way down to here, and the only reason why I stopped is because there's another hump here, like someone's asphalted over a sandbag or something. It's just literally right there. No idea why, no idea I'm going to sort it because I don't really want to put more screed down for the sake of just one hump there. Don't know if to try and grind it off. Speaking of grinding it off, I think I'm going to take up all this floor, back to that one, back to that hump, and try and grind it off just on this board, right the way along, see if I can just get it flatter. Zoom out a bit, shall we? However, they don't come back up so good, because when you put it in, I'm not showing you a video of laying this yet, when you put it in, it goes in like laminate that way, but these joints here, you're hammering with a rubber mallet, so it's them joints which don't come back up so good. I mean, they do come back up, but it leaves a crease. It doesn't, you can't really reuse them in my opinion, and you could try and warm up with a heat lamp, your heat gun or something to try and get it away, but because they're all laid that way, I think I can potentially take them all up from the front, that layer, you know what I mean? Because I can lift it, because it doesn't break this joint, it's just that joint, and leave them connected together that way. That makes sense. Right the way until I get to this here, and just see if I can do anything with it, because I know it's going to drive me insane. I really do think it's going to drive me insane. It's my mistake. Hindsight, yes, should have had the whole lot self-leveled, but we didn't. So let's start taking this floor back up. Not hammered that one in, you see, so that's why that's not broken. At least I don't think so. If that's the way they all come out, then I'll take that, because it can obviously all be reused. I'm not sure, there's a crack along there, but it's this edge what was breaking off when I've took them up before. It's going to be a long process. To be fair, they've all come up. I've just left them all up in rows. Where else am I going to put them? But it's right here. It's that line there, which is the hump, which is not ideal. I'm wondering whether there was any damp course under them bricks. Because obviously this was a doorway at some point, weren't it? I didn't knock it out like, but it just looks like it was a bit damp. I mean, it looks horrendous on the camera. It looks a lot darker than it really is, but thankfully the floor is plastic. But I think I'm going to have to try and sand some of that off with the grinder. As I said, here you can see there's just no hump at all. It is just literally this section, which I need to try and flatten out a little bit, and that one over there. Not good, but I think I've managed to take out that hump now. As I said, that end was alright. I'm going to hoover up a bit more, drop the board back in, and just see if the rock's gone. I expect there'll be a little bit of rock, but not as excessive as it was. Hopefully. If not, I'll have to take some more out. I know you can't tell on the camera, but James, electrician, if you're watching, how much better is that? Man, I wish I'd just ground it off in the first place. However, when you start putting them in, it doesn't actually look like it's going to be too bad. It was only when I started going on the rows, I thought, and then I just got too involved then. I was like, oh shit, it's too late now. That is loads better. I am so happy I took it up. So happy. Perfect. The only problem is I've got to get them all back down and grind down that hump if I can. This is all before 8 o'clock. I've got 45 minutes and I've got to be going out school run, so I've got to clean up, a big clean up, including myself. Can't remember where I actually got up to, but I've managed to get all these back in now, up until the point where I was before, pretty much ish. I think I've left the row off because one of the cuts are there. I've shaved that off now, that hump. Don't get me wrong, there's still a little bit of a hump there, but most of it is gone, I think. We'll find out when I put a board on it. Doesn't feel as raised up as it did. Well, it can't be, because obviously took all that out. I decided to grind it and then knock the bits off with a hammer and chisel, and then just try and smooth it out with the side grinding. It's better than it was. My next concern is this then goes to wood. And there's a lip there, which I don't like. However, looking at it, I think that wood actually flicks up because it looks like it sinks down there. So I might actually cut that section off and put something else down in its place, a bit thinner, so it's flat with that. That's going to be tonight's job. It definitely goes down. That's not as bad as I thought then, that. But I need to get this flooring done this week because the skating boards are getting done next week, and the building inspector's going round for, you can sign it off then for completion. Got the outside lights on. There's one there and one hiding away up there. As I said, it just needs a little bit of touching up with the paint, but other than that, it really is getting there now. It's dust everywhere though. As I said, I'm going to show you how this clicks together floor works. You're supposed to be able to score it with a Stanley knife. You can do, but it takes multiple scores. So I've just been using the cut-off tool from Milwaukee. Just a zzz. There's not much dust involved in that, and it snaps dead easy then, and you can get it in. Because you need the cut-off tool for your long lengths, especially like that one there. I mean, look at how thin it is going down there. To be fair, it's not landed very well, that, but you can't get it to land perfect everywhere. No one's going to stand on that little trim there. It's pretty much perfect everywhere else. As I said, I'm made up that we've managed to get rid of that hump. Probably could have done it with a bit more. Maybe around there. But it's definitely 100 times better than it was. You don't actually stand here, that's the thing, because the dining table goes there. It was just that alleyway, really. Anyway, I'm rambling on now. I need to get back to work. I've just nipped home for my dinner. So I'll see you tonight, hopefully, when we're doing the floor. Hopefully I'll be doing it tonight. So cut that floor out now, and if I run the level across it without shit under it, it's there or thereabouts. Whereas before that side was way higher when it reached this lip. So I'm just going to cut a new piece out, level it across, and that'll be sound then for carrying on through into there with the flooring. Tuesday morning, miles after I've last recorded anything, purely down to the fact that all I've been doing is the floor and the door thresholds. Not a lot has actually changed. Spin you around and show you what's what. So yeah, we finished all the flooring. It's just waiting for skating boards now. Door thresholds are on, both there and there. Now, because there's a big height difference between the hallway, because it's tiled and it's on webby board, I couldn't really find a threshold to suit. That chip was already there. I need to fill it in with black. I'll show you why I need black shortly. But I've basically just scribed a piece of flooring down, so when you actually stand back, it blends in. I'm happy with that. We finished the rest of that feature wall. That's all back up and done. Again, skating boards needed. Yeah, other than that, it's all pretty much done. I am going to fill along this edge here, you know, this cut edge. It's got clear in at the minute. That was just to hold it with a nice black bead, chamfered bead. But I haven't got any black silicone, which is why I'm going to fill that tile with. But other than that, skating boards are due to be done on Thursday. Building inspector's coming on the same day to, with a bit of luck, sign it off for completion. And that's him done. Once the skating boards are on, they need painting, which is why, by the time you've seen this, it'll have already been past the date. But I'm not going to get this video out on the Thursday I wanted to. It's more than likely going to be the following Thursday. Never mind. The plan for the room is going to be storage units here with like a media unit for the telly. That's why the socket's up there, but the camera won't focus. Wood burner is actually, she's decided, on this side. If we eventually get one, that's where it's going. and like a corner slash couch on this side. Excuse the washing. Yes, you shouldn't dry washing in the house. It causes a damp atmosphere, but when you've got dehumidifier and a radiator, it dries it absolutely rapid. But I don't think you'll need to see it furnished. It would be good too, but I won't be able to make a video out of it. I may just put a couple of pictures up on my channel homepage when it is actually furnished and done, and then you can see the final result. So the next time you see me, it'll be Thursday after the skating boards are done, and it should start to look complete. I'm sorry for the delay in videos, but there's not a lot changed. Thursday afternoon, my cousins have just been and finished the skating boards. We went for, I think it's called a half round, isn't it? I think that's what skating board's called, because that's the new style, even though the rest of the house is Taurus. Just Mrs. doesn't like Taurus. She says the dust collects on the grooves and it's a pain to clean, whereas these obviously just can wipe over them. All nice and filled, sanded down, happy days. That wall was always a mile high. You can see it's like a banana. However, shortly next year, I'm going to knock this out and put that door here and basically make a small utility room and change that into a smaller bedroom. But that's a job for another day, which is why I wasn't overly asked about this section. Just needed putting on to tidy it up, really. Yeah, kitchen's done as well. Just needs a bit of a white putting in there, obviously, because I took that tile off, expecting the skating board to cover it, but it hasn't. It won't matter when it's filled. And I think I'm going to go around here at the bottom with a bead of clear, because obviously you don't want, when you're mopping or anything, you don't want any water going up behind the skating board or the skating board soaking it up. Dog's ready to come in. That is looking absolutely mega. So all I've got to do now on this lot is paint it and furnish it. And that is it. It's complete. The building inspector's been, he's happy. Should be signing it off. So that'll be all sorted. And the moment you've all been waiting for, the big price reveal. So what does it cost to get us up to here? Not including any paint or anything, because I didn't bother putting paint on. Let's say 50 quid for paint. But not including the paint. So that's including the floor, the whole roof, and whatever else you've seen. 34,500 is the complete cost of this lot. And I think that's pretty good, to be fair, including the whole roof. I think normally a single story extension, it's like, yeah, the average about 30 grand, but obviously we've had the roof done as well, so I will take that. So I just want to thank every single one of you for watching this series. I hope you've enjoyed it. I hope it's been educational and been entertaining. And if you have, don't forget to subscribe, because we may have more of this type of work coming up, albeit not in my own house. We'll see, to film. I, for one, and I've read through the comments, and you as well, are going to miss it, and you've enjoyed it. Loads of people are saying attic conversion. Nah, not yet anyway. On that note, I'll see you up next one, which will be plumbing, no doubt. Thanks for watching. Catch you in a bit.